Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me, as always, my co-host Tom. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hello, friends.
Sorry we're a few minutes late here. We had a last-minute mic issue, as I realized Tom sounded a little strange, and then we got it switched, and it's all good now. So hopefully everybody can hear Tom okay. I'm going to turn you back up just slightly
Indeed.
because I think you might be a little quiet to everybody.
No
But anyways, yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about the Chaos Dwarves, the Helsmiths of Hashut. These guys right here. Let me tell you what. Here's a funny thing, Tom. Tell you a funny story. So I had this book upstairs in my living room because I was reading it like over the weekend or whatever, you know, to get ready for the show. And I started sitting next to my chair, and Kathy, my wife, walked by and was like, "That book looks really cool. What's that?" And I was like, "That's the new AOS book." I was like, "It has a really good cover." I was like, "It's one of the few that does." She's like, "Yeah, it looks awesome." She just liked the colors. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are in your wheelhouse.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, look at that use of teal. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So tonight is going to be a little bit of an unorthodox show because we're not doing the normal news in the normal way because there's really like one big piece of news today, which is the Battlescroll. So instead, what we're going to do,
which is not an insignificant amount,
this is one of the quarterly Battlescrolls. That's right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off. We're going to just after this like 2 minutes of banter. Okay, that's what I'm going to write here. And then basically we're going to get straight in to the Battlescroll because I do think it portends some really big changes. So with that, Tom, you ready to talk Battlescroll?
Sure, of course.
All right, let's do it. This one. There it is. All right. So, okay, here's my headline for the Battlescroll. If you were a strong army, you got nerfed.
Okay.
Right? Like you got kicked in the teeth. So like KO, FEC, Cities of Sigmar, right? All these people got hit pretty significantly, right? There are some other changes that are in the middle, especially with some of the Battletomes that are more recent, that are interesting, that are just there for kind of updates. And for all the down low people, if you're way down, we go. Then for you get some points. Maybe not insignificant.
Right.
Maybe insignificant, but that's what you're getting. Okay, you ain't getting rules. Right. That's the high level summary. You think I summed that up right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like points increases as well, right? It's not just abilities that have been kicked in the teeth. It's points bump.
Yeah, like, I mean, we have single
Battlescroll.
Single things that were nerfed 4 or 5 times. Yes.
Correct. Like like when you scroll through the battle profiles, it literally looks like just a blood wrap sheet, right?
Sure.
Like there's just splashes of red everywhere.
Yep. So with that being said, let's get into it and we'll talk about some of the specifics. We're going to try to move through this at a relatively fast clip, but give thing its due. Hades says right off the rip, Vince, I'm so mad with this update. My LRL list is already at bare minimum, and now it's 10 points over. Why? Because GW decided to give battle formations points costs. Yeah, I mean, LRL is in such a weird place. I don't know what to say about it. I think we'll talk more about it there. Anthony says he gained 110 points in his IJ list. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's cool.
I believe that.
Okay, so we've got to scroll through a bunch here because like very little core stuff changed in this quarterly Battlescroll. There was basically just one small item. Where is it at? Hopefully I don't scroll past it somewhere. It's crazy how much. There it is. Okay, so Scouting Force changed. And basically Scouting Force changed in 2 notable ways. First, you can, all of your non-hero infantry and non-hero cav that was not set up in reserve using a deploy ability becomes a scout unit. Highly relevant because now your pregame movers who walk outside of your deployment zone, a thing that was stupid that they couldn't be scouts when they were literally that ability is usually called like scout ahead or some version of that, right? Those people can now be scouts.
Yeah.
So Great. A+. Good. Correct change. Perfectly
Sure.
fine. Should have never been like that originally. Glad we got it fixed. Hades with the super chat saying, I don't like this new precedent that GW is setting, giving points cost to spell lores and formations that are forced on us anyways. Hades, I'm with you. Okay. Like, I don't mind universal and the spell, as we talked about last week. I really don't mind universal and the spell lores, manifestation lores, having points. Like, if the points costs for manifestation lores are like 0 to 40 or something, if that's what they cost, fine. If that's how they're built. But things where you don't have a choice, like it's stuff your army's got to take, just write better rules. It's unacceptable to points cost these things. It's ridiculous. We came down pretty hard on that last week, and I stand behind it. Okay, now, and then the other thing that's notable here that changed in part 2 and 3, effectively, of the Scouting Force one, is you can no longer claim faction terrain features, which I consider a negative. As a devout Skaven player, I think this is bad, but that's okay. I understand why they changed it. Tom, what do you think about this little thing? Can't go claim my own null holes anymore in your territory.
It's fine. It's super disappointing.
Sure.
Because now it has this very weird like incentive structure, right? Where like you can't claim them, but yeah.
I mean, it's
it's disappointing that this is the road we're on.
Sure. I thought it was like a fun little thing that I could go claim my own null holes. I just thought that was neat. It was neat that an army had a fun, neat ability, but okay, whatever. It wasn't like Skaven was tearing up the charts. Okay, so there you go. At any rate. Tom, the answer to that is it was you, I think. But let's see. Okay.
Weird.
The answer is neither. It's just you, Tom. There you go. To everybody else, we're fine. The connection is strong.
I'm glad.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Delete all this old stuff that got replaced by books. Yeah, that's fine. Don't care. Still deleting stuff. Still deleting stuff. Still deleting stuff. Okay. Glaive Wraith Stalkers, who were too good. Like, that's just what that is. Now got nerfed down. So for those of you who thought
I never thought I would.
Go ahead.
I was saying, I just never thought that we would hear that statement.
Well, I think people were like, oh, cool, Glaive Wraith Stalkers. I can use these to get some damage out of my Nighthaunt book that has no damage in it. Forget that. Get that out of here.
Well, that's my point, is that, like, Glaive Wraith Stalkers have never been good.
Hey, they were Ren 2. Up until they were like the last Ren 2 thing. They were pretty decent.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that the one time in the history of that army in the last 10 years
Sure.
where that Warscroll was worth spending points on, that lasted all of a month, which is insane to me.
Yeah. Bam. Crushed.
Simply insane.
Get these dreams out of here. Look, I like that they leave the legend stuff around for like a year for people to do it, but you get stuff like this is what happens with that. And that's fine. I'd still rather they leave it around for a year and let people play with their toys and have time to get new stuff whenever they retire things. But like, it does mean that we've got to accept that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
It's just
okay.
wild. It's wild to me.
Sure. The Cryptgas Courtier, who's also a legend guy, he gets his noble keyword instead of courtier. That's fine. And then there's these little, like the Stumblefoot Gargant thing in the Regiments of Renown from Grotmus. You can't projectile vomit over your own guys to injure them because there's like a nice trick you could pull with that. You can't do that anymore. And then the Sorrowmourn Choir is blah, 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 been updated to have the correct updated ethereal rules. Fine. All right. Now we come to that. Let's get to the real. Enough of this nonsense. We're playing around. Stop playing around. I don't like you boys playing around on my phone. Okay, let's get to the real. Pontifex Zenestra. We got to punch this lady in the face. She's a problem. Soggy Pontifex, specifically. Okay.
I love how as soon as that dropped, I was like, oh yeah, this is the build. And guess what? It was. And it was a problem.
Well, yes. I wouldn't pat yourself. Don't throw your shoulder out patting yourself on the back too hard there. You and half the breeders in the country who read it said that was the build, okay? But at any rate, yes. Kudos to recognizing obvious thing that is good is good. Now, so what changed? A lot. A lot is the answer. Let's begin with Word of the God King. Okay. So her new thing is the pick a visible. That's new. Enemy, wizard, priest, or manifestation within 18 inches. This unit to be the target. Blah, blah, blah. On a 3-up, you get to remove it. On a wizard or priest, they take a bunch of mortal damage. It moved from any hero phase to your hero phase and to visible. The challenge with this, it's still a good ability because it's still got a good range on it, right? But obviously potentially doing like 6 mortal wounds to a target you didn't even need to see within 18 inches in both players' turns. Probably too good. I love how they write spells that do like a D3 mortal wounds, and they're like, whoa, 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 we got to be careful with this kind of power we're handing out. And then they'll just write something like this and just be like, sure, D6 mortals a turn. Light them up, baby. Let's go. Like, okay, sure.
Looks great.
Yeah. So at any rate, it's still very powerful, but it's now powerful in actual ways that can somewhat be interacted with. But that's not the big change. The big change is to Sigmar's Will. Okay. Sigmar's Will. Your hero phase, casting 4. Make a chanting roll. If it's an unmodified 1, you can reroll the dice. Pick one of the following effects. Pick up to 2 different effects instead of the chanting roll was 10+. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. We all know what we're actually doing, what we're changing here. It's salvation. The thing that was done all the time. So salvation is fascinating because it got changed in a unique way, a new way, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the active player, okay, and the reason this text is here is so when you use your unleash spell, or prayer, as it were,
right,
you can't pick this, right? If you are the active player, pick up to 3 friendly City of Sigmar human units that are more than 12 inches from this unit and not in combat. That's new. Okay.
Yep.
Remove those units from the battlefield and set them up again wholly within 12 inches of this unit, more than 9 from all enemy units. Those units cannot use charge abilities for the rest of the turn. The 2 big changes here, obviously, like of note, other than small things, wording stuff, was salvation. You can't pray it off turn. You can't do the teleport off turn. And the units can't be in combat. So now if you actually charge the cannons and get into combat with them, she can't just evac them out of there and put them on the other side of the board. Still a very powerful ability for repositioning your own cannons in your turn. The other thing I will say that is relevant here is you used to be able to set up 3 inches from enemy units. I shouldn't just breeze over this. That isn't how a lot of people were using it, but in a clutch, it was interesting that you could like place on objectives unless somebody really zoned it out, right? Like was in the dead center. Now it's 9 from all enemy units.
Right, which is more standard, right?
Yes.
Like that's just the normal format.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that this was ever like that this was ever 3 inches. It's wild. It's completely wild. So, whatever. Anyways, that's the first 2 changes. Those are all the changes to her. Big changes, deserved changes. I've never been happier to see an old woman get punched in the face. So there you go.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Great. So next song. Caradron Overlords. Many changes to Caradron Overlords over this whole thing. Here's the first one. Your Sky Vessel upgrades. The things that were in Soggy rules, no. They're just Great Engine Works now or whatever. So you don't get both of them anymore. You get one.
They were like, oops.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I love how they just walk it back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you see a problem there?
No, I just like, again, as a former KO player who has gotten kicked in the teeth for so long, like I understand that it was dominant and I understand that it was oppressive, but uh couldn't you have tested this? Right? Like this is like this is literally like this is the natural home that they would have lived in. Oh, these are great engine works,
Yeah.
right? But they were like, nah, we're gonna just lay it on top. Just lay it on. That seems like why? It's just
Yeah,
disappointing. That's what I'm gonna say.
that's fine. I get that. I mean, these were great. Here's what I'll say. I'm all for unique enhancements. I want to see more of it. It made no sense they had two different kinds of unique ship upgrades that they could apply both to, right? And just like stack them in weird ways when like nothing else in the game is acting like that. So either a lot more games or a lot more armies get more unique enhancements, or we certainly don't layer two different levels of it on one person, right? And I'd be fine with either direction, by the way. Like, that's fine. The way I think we should have gone is, yeah, they can have multiple different ways they can upgrade their boats, and everybody's army has multiple different unique enhancements they can take. I think that would be cool and actually give us list customization. That's the world I want to live in. But if I can't live there, then these are great engine works. You don't get to be the one that's different from everybody else. That's all.
Yeah.
Kurdos and the Black Coach and that kind of stuff, they were all changed to basically fall in line with the new abilities, right? To have the new Night Haunt save characteristic, a new Night Haunt ward characteristic, and so on and so forth. And then finally, the Soulblight Gravelord's heroic trait. Frightening Vitality. Each time an ability would heal exactly 1 or 2 of this unit's damage, you heal 3 instead. Great. Who cares? Here we go. Here's the next big one. Okay. Blades of Corn. The Blades of Corne. The Blades. Big change here, Tom. Big change here. Change the timing of Skulls for the Skull Throne to once per turn. Army. Start of any turn. This was like formerly you could do this only in your turn, start of battle round, basically. Not really. It wasn't your turn. It was start of the battle round. And it meant you could do it once per battle round. And so it was really easy to get screwed on the timing of this. Like to where you just didn't have the right number of points if you didn't like jump through hoops. Right.
Right.
Now you can do it in both players' turns. You're not going to actually accelerate twice as fast. Right. Because you just like it would depend on the number of units. You still got to kill things. Things still got to die. But now if you like have 2 turns of back-to-back bloodshed, you can actually benefit from that, whereas you couldn't before. So that's nice. And then punish the pacifist once per turn, army, your combat phase, which is fine. And then murder the mystic to once per turn, army, your hero phase. So those just basically switch timings to be in line. Those are still your hero phase. So that's cool. Punish the pacifist is actually really funny if you're playing like a shooty back army. I've played against Khorne like when I was doing a kind of stay out of combat army, and they took punish the pacifist, and I will say it was hilarious to have for me to have to roll for every stupid unit in my army every single round to get a freaking mortal damage. Like, didn't we remember that there was like a Soulblight spell used to do that was super annoying? We just keep playing in these waters. All right.
Yep.
Karnak changed, but I don't know what the change was. I read it and I was like, what changed here? This feels like the same it was before. But I don't know. Maybe it's somebody in the chat. I thought Karnak worked like this. I know he could teleport and take a unit of Fleshhounds with him, and he could be 6 inches away. And 9 from everybody else, and I'm not sure what the difference is there. Maybe now the other Fleshhounds can also be set up within that space, I guess, so they can be the same distance. I don't know. I'm not sure what the change is, but that's cool. Spirit Gale. Yes, there you go. And then Assistant Ref says, Khorne, god of making you roll lots of dice to do very little. He used to need the Fleshhounds. Oh, okay, so the up to 1 is the trick there. Got it. Thank you. There you go. That makes sense. Thank you, everybody. He had to take the hounds before. Okay. I missed the change of the up to. All right. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Flesh Eater Courts. They clarified on the 3 to 4 roll that you still maintain the delusion even if the person's dead who provides that delusion, which is cool. That's how I figured it worked. I don't know if Tom is frozen or just very, very deeply in thought. I can't tell. I guess we'll find out. I think he's frozen. But isn't that a nice free screen for him to be on? Where he looks like he looks quite pensive. He's thinking so deeply about this. At any rate, oh, there he goes. He'll be back. Then we've got, so yes, you keep the delusion. That's how we played it. And that's fine. Then we've got some battle formation, Lords of the Manor. And the effect of raise the banners replace each time an ability returns with each time another ability returns, which is a very logical change. That's fine. And then artifacts power and the final bullet point of the effect, the splintered femur, replace it is banished with it is banished and removed from play. Cool. Okay, fine. Our abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Zombie Dragon. Change the effect of for the kingdom to while you believe this delusion. Add 1 to charge rolls for friendly knights. Units and friendly Flesh Eater Courts monsters while they are wholly within 12 inches of any Flesh Eater Courts heroes. And same thing. So this was just adding the Flesh Eater stuff to that, which is fine. And then the High Falcon or Griffin. I think the change was the not in combat, I believe. I didn't go back and look at him. That's just off the top of my head. If I'm wrong, tell me what I'm wrong about with High Falcon or Felgrin. He's got a good delusion, but I legitimately do not remember his little gripe token ability. Okay. Oh, here's another big one. Oh, see, Tom's coming back. He probably had to restart his computer. I think his internet's kind of shapoopy right now. But, well, that's okay. Oh, he's gone again. It's fine. He'll get back. Sun Steela Wheelas. The Chariots. Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine, Martin. Don't worry. Okay. Sun Steela Wheelas. Change the timing of Careening Destruction to once per turn army, any movement phase. What? Okay. This is a great change. These dumb chariots really didn't do anything previously. They were pretty worthless. And it was in your movement phase. And they do some mortal damage, I should say. Based on the number of models in the unit, they come in base 2. You can have up to 4. So they could do a D3 plus 4 or whatever, something like that. Or D3 plus 3. I don't remember exactly how it's worded, but, effectively there. But it was still hard to do because it was only your movement phase. And it was a fine enough ability, but whatever. And changing it to any movement phase where, now again, it's still once per turn army. So it's not like all your Sun Steela Wheelas, if you've got multiple units of them, can all just do this. They can't. But one unit can. One unit can. So a 4-pack of these running around in the enemy movement phase causing a D3 plus 4 mortal wounds is actually something. Repositioning in that movement phase, in the enemy movement phase, I think that's the real. I think these things actually have a point now. So that's nice. Okay. Should battle tactics cost points? God, I hope not. Let's please no. I mean, based on the stat show we did where we saw that they were all pretty close to each other, I think the answer is no. They're they're looking pretty even. So I think that's not bad. Issue, restart, and come back when you can. There you go. Tom said yes, it is his internet being bad, and that's fine. Okay. All right. We'll just keep going. We don't need his opinion for the battle scroll. We got everybody here. We've got each other. Okay, what more do we need? Yeah, the battle tactics are all so close to each other right now. Statistically, they're within basically 2.5% of each other on pick. So there's no reason, by their logic, that one should be given points. I'm not saying it's good logic. I'm saying by their logic. But yeah, I think the chariots are cool now. The abyssal tendril, which is the little manifestation arms. Their particular incarnate that they get, basically. Change the effect of Crushing Coil to add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Idoneth Deepkin manifestations that target and snared enemy unit. So just like a tightening up of that wording to make sure it's the right units getting the bonus. That's fine. And then do they count as ensnared for these other things? No. Okay. We'll stop using the same word then. That just shows me when they accidentally reuse keywords like that, like they did for IDK, it tells me that they just really didn't know what they wanted to do with this army. It's like, they're water. They grab you. It's like, water. It pulls you down. Anything else you got here for a theme? Nope. Okay, cool. Now we come to other Caradron. See, I said Caradron Overlords, and then Tom theoretically appeared again. Let's see if he actually joins up this time. Up. Tom's back. You're back, baby. Welcome back, Tom.
Yeah, I just going on. I actually had some phone as that is.
I would say your internet still is not fully recovered, based on what I am hearing right now, which is Robot Tom. The fun of a live show. We'll see. At any rate, we'll continue on here. Change the effect of Sky Vessel Cover to subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks target friendly Caradron Overlords infantry units that have not charged in the same turn. So, again, yep, it's fine. Just bringing it back in. Getting rid of that charge thing, which is good. That's how it should work. Oh, you're back again, Tom. All right, you didn't drop this time. That's nice. Let's see if he actually moves.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
Hey, I could hear you okay there.
It's literally just Discord. Like, it's nothing else than when Discord's running. But if I run anything else other than Discord, it's losing its mind.
Then don't run anything else. It's okay. You can. I'm here for you. I know you won't be able to watch the show. You'll have to imagine. You have to imagine the presentation. Let it stabilize for a minute, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So, at any rate, Caradron Overlord, you don't get your -1 to hit if you charged. That's fine. You're very smooth now without anything else running, so that's fine. Then we've got Artifacts of Power. The Celestium Burst Grenade is now once per battle. So, okay. Cool. No, I appreciate it, Anthony. I really do. I would have had you on for sure. It fell on a Tom week. Don't worry. We'll get you on here, Anthony, for sure. I mean, depending on how Tom's internet works, I may have to take you up on that. Don't worry. So, yes, the Celestium Burst Grenade is now once per game. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the Arcanaut Frigate updated the ability with the wording around how their bring people into combat strike first thing works, because one of the units gets strike first for the rest of the turn. Okay. All right. So several nerfs to the KO strategy here. The Nighthaunt Battletome and the Declare Step of Chains of Death, you have to have a visible enemy hero. That's fine. Orc War Clans, the Beast Skewer Killbow, change the effect of Skewering Bolts to, for the rest of the turn, the damage characteristic of this unit's Beast Skewer Bolts is 6 if the target is a monster. I thought that's how it worked already. What am I missing here, Tom? You played this army. What changed here?
Say what did it say again?
The Beast Skewer Killbow. Change the effect of Skewering Bolts to, for the rest of the turn, the damage characteristic of this unit's Beast Skewer Bolts is 6 if the target is a monster.
Is it still a once per army ability?
They're just saying change the effect. They're not change. They didn't change anything else. It's just literally the effect line.
I think it was in your shooting phase. I think the effect was an in your shooting phase ability. I need to go back and read it. Thus, that it was only triggering during a very narrow window once, as opposed to for the rest of the turn. Although I don't know when that would ever matter.
Yeah, I don't know either, but okay. Apparently, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just like for the rest of the turn in case you shoot some other way. Yes, as they said, they used up all the burst grenades in the first month and now they have to ration them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. And then I think that's basically it except for points. Was there anything else? I think that was all. That's all. Okay, we got through all of it. As far as that goes, let's talk points real quick here. All right, we'll move through this at a fairly good clip because I'm not going to hit each individual unit. I'm going to talk more high level and what I think actually matters, right? Like, because there's a bunch of like +10 and -10 stuff in here on like characters and crap like that that I just do not think is actually relevant. It's just not. Unless you were
so
spamming it.
before, as an aside, before
Yeah.
it was a once per turn army. Your shooting phase.
Okay. All that's still true, I think, because they only changed the effect line.
And the effect was the damage characteristic of this unit's B skewer bolt is 6 if the target is a monster.
So all they added, the only thing that changed was for the rest of the turn.
Right, which is what I was saying, is that like for the rest of the turn seems to be what's added, and I don't know when that would ever matter. Because it's already only your own shooting phase where the trigger happens.
Right.
Right, like I could see a world where like they changed that if it was in any hero phase or in any shooting phase or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird.
Okay. Hey, why not? All right. So, you got a bunch of little stuff like the Battle Mage and the Battle Mage and her Econom going up some points, Callus and Toll going up, the Free Guild Marshal and Relic Envoy going up. Scourge of the Soggy Pontifex Sinestra went up 10. So in addition to those nerfs, all those nerfs we talked about, she still went up points.
Right? Which is just wild. Wild.
I mean, without all those nerfs, she would have had to go up like 100 points or something crazy. Like something truly insane. Right? The Free Guild Command Corps up 30, Tom. That's meaningful. Still not unique. You can still take multiple bands of weirdos. And then Steel Helms and Hammers both went up 10, which can be meaningful given that they're units you often would take sort of a decent number of. Okay. Okay. Oh, don't worry, Paolo. We'll get to Slanesh and my feelings on that. As well, we have battle formation costs. That's right. Veteran Cannoneers now 30 points. So between like the 10 you're spending for Sinestra, the 30 for this, right? You probably had Free Guild Command Corp going up. Like you're probably losing
100 points.
Probably 100 points out of a lot of lists. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then your Cosmopolitan Leader's now 20, and your Brazier of Holy Flame is also 20. Both things that were selected quite heavily in most of these armies. I just don't like this thing of if somebody... We write only one good artifact or heroic trait. People take that one good artifact or heroic trait following the natural incentives that we have created, and then we punish them for it.
Yes.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I think people will still try to make Veteran Cannoneers work. I don't know if down 100 points it works, but my guess is probably, yeah.
I mean, it's a play style that people enjoy, right?
Sure.
Like it is one of the only ways I would argue that a gun line works right now.
Sure.
Is one that can teleport around. Right?
Sure.
Like that it creates that mobility. So.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
Pay out the nose for it,
Yep. Justin says if Brazier didn't return models to Command Corp, it wouldn't matter. I agree. I agree. It's the combination of these things, right? And they're trying to hit them all, but like, I don't know if that point actually stops it or not. Doc had some points ups across the board, though none of them were that huge. Your two Soggy units went up 20. That's fine. Both Cthulhu's actually went up, but the Scourge Cthulhu went up more, as is obvious because she's way better. The Avatar and the Bloodstalkers went down 10. That's fine. I'm glad the Bloodstalkers went down 10. I don't actually see a problem with that. But, where you're really getting hit is like the Life Takers going up 20. So again, Doc will see a pretty notable thing here, especially since Arena Veterans and Blood Shadow Rights also went up and now have a points cost of 20. So,
Yep. It's going to cost you a unit.
which, yeah, exactly. Which kind of sucks because Doc is sort of playing in a very narrow band right now, I submit, of like kind of exactly. It's exactly what David Canty said. Like, how dare you play the only way we've established, right? It's like, well, they had very obvious sorts of builds and those just got punished. So, okay. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, they had one build line, right? And they're playing a
Right.
trading game, and now they have one less to trade.
Right. Correct. Exactly. Fire Slayers, little bit of a mixed bag, but I mean the normally I would say a hero going up 10 doesn't matter, but people did tend to take multiple soggy rune suns. That being said, like you did get other points drops here in some places that maybe work out to balance that to some degree, depending on your list. Maybe.
Mhm.
You've got 2 formations that are plus 10 and they're like 10 points. I think Fire Slayers, a couple lists you need to change around a unit, but for the most part, they net out pretty even. That's my read on Fire Slayers. Which is fine. Like they're strong, but not breaking the curve strong. Idneth Deepkin had a bunch of points down. It's kind of weird that the Eidolons went down, as like the Eidolons were an okay pick before, but hey, they're cheaper now, so that's cool. I believe that with this points drop, our good buddy Dino Constantino said that you can now do the 4 turtles and splinter list. So that's fun. Hey, good times. And then the Reavers go down. I don't think it matters, but okay. I mean, like that's probably that minus 10 on Reavers is probably the most meaningful thing if people can actually make Reavers work, because you need many units of them to do it. So that could be like 40 points all by itself in your list or something. So, but the Ether Sea Predators went up 20. So give some of those points back on your battle formation. Okay. Doc Spicy Witch lists went up 240 points. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Right? Okay. So like that's what I'm saying. I just think Doc got unreasonably punished within its one band it was operating. I don't know what it's clear the Melusai suck and can't get there. I love the snakes. I want to play snake armies. It's
Right.
obvious it doesn't work right now. So I don't know what we're doing here. Okay. KO, it's just all blood, baby. And the 2 most obvious hits that are worth talking about here are the Vorgrim Harpoon crew and Von Grimm Harpoon crew and the Von Grimm Salvagers. Like the gun haulers and stuff going up 20 or 30 points for the normal and soggy is meaningful. That's not nothing. That is certainly something. But the Von Grimm stuff going up was the actual impact here, because they both went up 20. And in many lists, you were running multiple units of these. Probably reinforced, right? So, like, at least one of them was reinforced.
Yep. So it's just painful.
Right. So here you're talking about, like, easily, again, KO, but we're not done yet. Hold on. Let's go down. Your battle formation and your artifact, your bamboozling flat gun, the thing everybody takes because it's really good and crazy good, actually. Those both cost points now. And your faction terrain costs 20 points. You have to pay 20 points for your faction terrain. I hate faction terrain anyways. The fact, like, making me pay for it. That legitimately is hilarious to me. Okay? Because that says if you take this thing that you're supposed to take for free, that's been the deal here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know they're not the only ones, but it's very upsetting to me. Your list is 1,980 points. Okay.
I mean, there are other armies that do that, right? That
I know.
have costed terrain.
That's what I said. They're not alone.
LRL's been like this for a while.
I know.
But it like what they're actually saying is to play this army. This is a 1980 army.
That's what I'm saying.
Not
yes.
a 2000 point army. Yeah.
Which is the same thing, you're right, with LRL before and stuff like that, but it's just frustrating. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, stop writing these rules that would demand this on the faction train. I didn't make a choice to take the faction train. Like, the artifact of power, maybe you could make some kind of weak sauce argument that, like, well, we're trying to incentivize you to make a different choice and not just spam the one thing we wrote that's actually good. I think that's a bad argument, but at least it's an argument. Okay. Here, my choice is take it or not. You wrote the rules for this. You wrote my one option. You did this. You pay the 20 points. Just some dude with a super chat. Me trying to rizz up the Ossiarch Bone Reaper baddie. Dang, shorty, I've got an extra bone for you on the house. And by bone, I mean, yes, exactly. Sorry for the Gen Z lingo, Vince. No, that's fine. That's great. Absolutely. I mean, look, we all want to rizz up the OBR baddies. It's like, that is reality. Okay. Because they got a great look. And plus, you got multiple souls in there. If you're hooking up with an OBR baddie, that's like basically a polycule right there. Because there are multiple people in there. So that's fine. I get it. Okay. Kids love that these days. All right. Lumineth Realm Lords. Little bit of gives and takes, but whatever. I don't care about Teclis. He still sucks. 20 points isn't going to help that. I'm sad to see Ella go up 10, but again, I don't think it matters. 10 is irrelevant. Meaningful things here, okay, is probably like, well, probably need to scroll off this page to get to the really meaningful stuff. I don't like the Light of Eltharion going up 20 from the Soggy version. I think is kind of stupid. I don't think he's that good. That it was worth kicking him in the pants that hard, but fine, whatever. I think the Alarith Spirit of the Mountain down 20 is actually pretty meaningful. I think that I think Mountain Guy is actually pretty good at 280. I don't know what Sentinels were doing to earn this ire. Like, I thought Sentinels were pretty bad, but all right, sure. And then Dawn Riders going down 10, fine, I guess. I mean, that's like probably maybe 20 points in some list somewhere. And the Ballista, stop it. I'm not taking the Ballista at 90. Just like stationary stuff like that is not happening.
Yeah.
So what are we
dead
doing?
in the water?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now your Venari Battle Host and your Sonari Council both cost 10 points. And your Spell Lord that's good costs 10 points. What's happening here? What's happening here?
Yeah, it's like a 1930 army.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Lumineth show up to the table. Yeah, they got like 1,940 points to spend. What is this? Because yes, we talked about their faction terrain still costing points, right? So it's like,
yep.
What is this? What is going on? Okay. So fine. All right. Yes, I agree, Martin. Dawn Riders have been overpriced, and now they're slightly less overpriced. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that really does feel like that's exactly the read I would give on Dawn Riders. It was like, well, I didn't like them at 230, and I don't really like them at 220 either. So I don't know what we're doing here, but I guess it's better. Seraphon, just all down. Just all down. Just, is this helping? Are we helping? Okay. Even the Soggy Carnosaur, you know, when we were reviewing the Soggy rules, the alleged salvation, because he's like actually pretty decent, is down. But everything down in your units is down. Your Aggrodon Lancers, your Kroiger Warspawn, your Saurus Warriors, your Stegodon. Now, none of them huge. It's just like, this is the story of minus 10. But again, with some of these units, that can be more meaningful because you actually are stacking multiples of these. I think Seraphon got an extra unit out of this, writ large. Will that matter? No. Okay, next. Stormcast. Also just tons of green. Bunch of points drops on the heroes that probably don't amount to too much. But Jesus, we're still in heroes. Okay, fine. Yndrasta down 20 to 290. Keep going. Keep going. We're not there yet. Though I was very excited to see Lord Commander Bastion Carthalos go down 30 points to 220. Now that I can get behind. Okay. Down here in the Stormcast, the two things I really wanted to draw attention to are, one, the Annihilator drops. That the Annihilators, Tom, with Meteoric Grand Hammers are now down to 180. What a change
Ooh, what a
from the
what a
index.
buy. Yeah.
Yeah. And the regular Annihilators are 130. It's just like crazy. So I actually do think there might be some gas in that tank, let me just say. And then this is the other one. This one's, anytime this happens, I think this should be seen as an overall sign of health in the game. Liberators down to 90. When Liberators fall to 90, something's happened, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like the scale has shifted literally. Like
Right.
the measuring stick is gone.
Right. Liberators should always be 100 points. Okay. So
Everything
that's all I'm
should
saying.
rotate around the Liberator. Yes.
Right. So if they're not working, you got to change the Warscroll. Their points should be, excuse the pun, sacrosanct. Right? And like they should be forced to change the Warscroll to always be at 100 points. So at any rate. Okay. Sylvaneth, same thing, tons of points down. The most like surprising thing to me were the Kurnoth. This army has my number. I can never beat Sylvaneth. I don't know why. I'm so scarred by these guys. They're not very good right now. They're doing okay. They were like in the lower end of the stats. They weren't terrible. They were still within the midpoint. But like Kurnoth just scar me. Kurnoth with greatswords and Kurnoth with sights have just like scarred my psyche forever in what they've done to me. So I find it hard to actually evaluate these guys. But Sylvaneth, it'll probably roll out to like net 50-ish points, depending on how you build your list. You may get a little more or less, but it's something like that. So I don't know. I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Blades of Corn. The important part about this change, you can take the Bloodthirster AOR thing now. It works. That's it. Everything else written here is just like whatever. But the Bloodthirsters now got cheap enough that you can take the thing. That's all that matters. Okay. Without having like, because the way it was before, like you could always take it, but you would have had like 350 extra points, right? You had to build like a 1650 list or something stupid. Skull Reapers down 10 is interesting. I don't hate that. The Scourge of Gyran Blood Crushers going down 20 to 160 is like a pathetic attempt to make those guys relevant. I still don't believe they are. Nice try though. Tzeentch. Got a couple hero movements, but let's go down here. Where we've got the Flamers going down 10, the Pink Horrors going down 10, and the Skyfires going down 10. All in all, and the Jade Obelisk going up 20, which is correct, objectively. What's going to happen is you'll see a bunch of people move off of Jade Obelisk stuff onto the other traditional Tzeentchian units. Will this actually improve Tzeentch's standing? I don't know. Will Caleb still win with them? Yes. Again, I think it's probably pretty net neutral for Dot. Slaanesh. Slaanesh makes no sense to me. Just conceptually. Okay. Sinessa is down 20. She still sucks. So that's fine. The Epitomy's down 10. I don't care. Dexess is down 20. She still sucks too. They've gotten so much cheaper. They were 500 points total when you took a little more than, I think. At launch, I think it was 510 to take both of them. And it's now 350. Okay. So that tells me we were a little off. Right? That's a hell of a change.
Yeah. It's a huge swing. Huge swing.
Sigvald still going down because the fabulous one, the magnificent one, can only do so much. Like just as a 7 health hero, it's just like you're gonna get lifted. The biggest surprise to me here was Glutos down 30. He was already anchoring a lot of very successful lists. And same with the Scourge of Gyran Celeste, who was also like the other centerpiece to a lot of these lists. So the fact that both of them dropped tells me they do not have a lot of confidence in Slaanesh right now. And then seeing as well the Slickblade Seekers and the Twin Souls go down, as well as the Painbringers all the way down to 110. I mean, there's probably a pretty decent mortal build in Slaanesh right now, which makes me sad. Like, this did nothing for what I want to see, which is the demon side get better and actually playable as a demon side. I think that's still trash. So Slaanesh is still on the shelf for me, just because like I don't want to play it the way that they want me to play it, and that's fine. That's okay. But I think the mortal side's got juice. I think this is actually quite meaningful to the mortal side. Like, with the way this is built, you will get an extra probably 100 points out of it, depending on if you have a heavy mortal list. So that's meaningful. Nurgle, just down across the board. Lots of stuff down. You can spam beasts now. Congratulations for the lunatics who are doing that. Back the other previous 2 times that became a viable strategy. I look forward to people doing that for a 3rd time in our history. And then I think like the Blight Lords and the Plague Drones down a tiny amount. Again, I think Nurgle probably doesn't end up with an extra unit, so I don't know that it actually matters too much. So, yeah, there you go. Ian said, I've had great success with Mortal Heed Knights. I got about 100 points to my list. Yeah, that sounds right. So that's about what I guessed.
Yeah.
Skaven, little bit of good, little bit of bad. I'm sad to see the Scourge of Gyran Screaming Bell go up 20. Well, you were angry we were having fun with a Screaming Bell for once. And don't think making the crappy Screaming Bell go down 40 points is in any way recompense. It's not. That thing sucks. Throw it in the trash. No one's ever using that scroll. It's garbage. And you should feel bad whoever wrote it. Because you don't know Skaven. There you go.
It's true.
Happy to see the Arch Warlock down 20. He was way overcosted at 170, like way overcosted. And the Deathmaster coming up 20 is meaningful because obviously people were running Deathmaster spam, and that's at 20 points up. That pretty much goes off the table. So that's fine. Regular Brood Terror down 30. We finally got there, Tom. Isn't that exciting? We finally got to the points value that I said this thing should be. I knew I was right. History has vindicated me quite well with the Skaven points. This guy has dropped 33% of his points since launch. Insane. Insane. Now, can we talk about the most exciting points update in this or probably any other update so far? And that is the Doom Wheel now at an even 100 points. Let's go. Let's go Doom Wheel spam. Is it completely useless? Yes. Does it get you battle tactics? No. Can it accomplish anything on the table? Also no. But is it fun? Sometimes. Well, I'm in. I love Doom Wheel at 100 points. I thought Doom Wheels are always really fun and good, so I was happy to see it drop down. I have no idea why Plague Monks went up 10. I think they put that in there as a joke. I don't. What? Why? Who cares?
I mean, who is playing them?
Yeah, literal no one cares because no one was playing them. So that's fine. The Warp Grinder is still bad because of rules, so that doesn't matter. And the Jezzails going down 10 is great because I think Jezzails actually are actually good. So great.
Yep.
And importantly, Rat Ogres did not change. Stayed the same. Good stuff. A+. The 2 units I was hoping they wouldn't change were Globadiers and Rat Ogres. 2 of my favorite. Like, those are my 2 favorite units in each of those clans. I think Globadiers are amazing. People sleep on Globies. I think they're fantastic. Big Globie fan over here. So, and them at 90 is really strong. So I was happy to see both of those stay. I think there's I think we unlocked some of the Scryer potential here. Pretty well.
Are you running Globies as a 5 or as a reinforced 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're gonna I think in that kind of a list you have 20 of them and it's a 10 and 2 5s. That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm always running 5-drop with Skaven. like happily,
Yep.
just super happily.
Yep.
So that's how and like that is not a lot of points, to be clear, right? With that, that's like 360 points in Globies, very doable. And just like the key is they will just shock people with sudden damage, and then they have to turn and deal with a stupid, ridiculous unit. But they're just like if you play them smart and get them in a position, they'll just crack people. It's crazy how hard they hit. And they buy cover and run cover and make people focus attention. So stuff like your Jezzails and your other shooting units can do the work they actually want to do. And now we'll have Doom Wheel spam running out in front, so that's great. That's my chaff, baby. Just crazy Doom Wheels riding around everywhere. Chaos, it's fine. Some like random points down. I played the Chaos Hero list recently and had a good time with it. Multiples of the units I take are in here and dropped. Like I take a Chaos Lord on Karkadrak.
Yeah.
I take a Centurion Marshal in my list. I like the Centaurian, sorry, Marshal. I think he's really cool. I think people sleep on him as well. I liked him fine at 130. I like him better at 120. Great. The Chariot going up 20 points is like very funny to me, just because they realized it dropped like way too low into oops all Chariot territory, and so I think they stopped that before it became a problem. The Mind Stealer Sphere Ranks going down 10 is like whatever, and Varangard actually going down, Tom. That's right. Here we go. It happened. We got it. The Varangard went down. We finally hit that point in the cycle. That's exciting. FEC, what I want to talk about on a whole here with FEC is, boy, did they not get it right at launch, apparently. That's what this tells me. Just blood red everywhere with FEC, and they were just like, nope, we missed. Sorry. And when you look at these changes, they're not insignificant. Crypt Guard up 20 is a massive change on that unit, on something you generally were taking many multiples of, right? The Grand Justice Gourmet, who is obviously amazing on first read, going up 40 points. 40 points on a 110-point hero? That's a lot. That's a lot of points. Like, FEC lost that, and the Grizzly Pennant and the Charnel Throne now cost points. So again, we have another army that we've now slapped attacks on their faction terrain. Wonderful. Just A+ stuff all around. So like FEC is very strong. What surprised me here, okay, honestly, is that Crypt Honkers didn't change.
Well, I mean, they're good. I like them, but they're not breaking the bank. Like they're not the answer to everything, right? And people aren't heavily spamming them right now.
I think they should be. That's my answer.
The problem is that points change not because something needs to be changed, but because people are abusing it.
Sure.
Like that's what moves the needle, is that it's in events, winning events, and generating buzz. That's what gets things broken. Like if something is inherently mathematically unbalanced, you can exploit that all day long if you're the only person doing it.
Yeah. I don't think the Flayers deserve to go up. I thought they were good, but they're not like, I honestly didn't think they were that amazing. I think 2 units of 6 Crypt Honkers is completely reasonable in an army and very scary. Those guys,
sure,
they do work. They do work. Like, Honkers are not messing around. Okay. So, I mean, like, I think the Crypt Guard deserved the increase. I think that's probably, that's strong, but like, they were a pretty good unit. But like, I'm not advocating that Honkers should have gone up. What I'm saying is what's going to happen now is a bunch of people are going to run Honkers. Like, that's just, it's still going to be more Begs and Honkers. Like, that's going to be a general combination. You see, like, 1 unit of more Begs, you don't want more than 1 now, and a bunch of Honkers. Okay. And probably like a pack of ghouls. Night Haunt. We Like Pyrogeists went up 20. That's cute. That's cute that you recognized it was a problem and then didn't fix it. This is the best example of anchor bias I have ever seen. Okay. Because like Pyrogeists at 150 are still, oh, sir, what is a honker? Sorry. Crypt horrors, affectionately known as crypt honkers because of, I don't know why, it just became a thing that everybody called them. So yes, sorry, Rhett, I apologize. Using these like little inside baseball terms. Assistant ref says crypt honkers are like Zangors from a few years ago. They've still got warehouses full of the things. Yeah. Good point. Because Pyrogeists, again, by the standards of every other unit here in Nighthaunt, if all those other points are correct, which clearly they're not, since Hex Wraiths came down 20 and Banshees came down 10 and Dreadblade Harrows came down 10 and so on. If all those were correct at where they are, like Grimghast at 210, stuff like that, right? BGR at 210, then Pyrogeist at 150 is still laughable as a comparison. They're still clearly the best choice. So what are we doing here? Like the incentive on Nighthaunt is still spam a dumb Warcry unit that you're going to regret buying multiple units of in 3 months. When they go to 180. Because people have spammed them. Like that's what's that's the inevitable cycle. So okay, don't do that. OBR down lots of points. It's good. I think OBR is in a tough spot. I think they deserve this. These kind of points down. They probably could go a little farther, is my honest answer. Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
Soulblight, I think, is in a really great place. They had a bunch of points down, not on crazy meaningful stuff. The Barrow Guard is a meaningful points drop. Maybe the Skeletons is a meaningful drop, maybe. But for the most part, I think Soulblight just came out of this better. You know, what actually happened here is not you gained a unit, it's just your list building got a little easier, right? You got a little more space. So that's fine. You can easily fit your 20-point Lash the Sire in now, right? But I think Soulblight's perfectly fine. I think they play the game well. Gloomspite, it's just a sea of green, baby. It's just green. Just green. The thing to talk about here is Bounders down another 10, who are already quite good. And then Moon Clan Shooters and Moon Clan Stabbas both down 10. We are getting into dangerous territory now, Tom.
Yep. Do you think so? Like, how long until somebody builds like the spam list? Do you think that's what the answer is here?
It's happening right now. As somebody watching this show is doing that. If you're the person watching the show now or in the future, and you're currently painting goblins, Moon Clan Stabbas or Shooters, leave a comment. I want to know. Okay.
Yep.
Because like in my mind, we should also say Squig Herd going down 10 is also could be in the same space, by the way. But really the Stabbas and Shooters at 20 health for 110 points. No, Lodovicus, I'm pretty sure Tom Guan is going to be spamming Liberators. So different thing he spams.
But very similar.
Sure. Noops says, us true Gobos already have 200 Stabbas. Good point.
Yeah, it's true.
Iron Jaws coming out pretty decently. Like your Iron Jaws list probably gained about 100 points. That's the simple answer here. Like you probably got yourself an extra unit of Scourge of Gyran Weird Brute Rekkas, which is what you're going to spend your bonus points on. So you have an extra 3-pack of them to run around and give +1 to hit. Congratulations on that. It's still an army that rules-wise is like fighting with a Nerf bat against everybody else. So, because you still only play in one phase and really don't have the tricks, but Hey, that's okay. It's helpful. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Cruel Boys. Don't get fooled by this even distribution here. Like up on this page, you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, Gobsprak went down. Snatcher Boss on Sludge Raker Beast went down. Okay, and Merc Knob went up. This is not bad. And then you go to page 2 and you're like, oh boy, there it is. There's the Cruel Boys nerf we were looking for. Gut Rip is up. Monster Kill is up. Bolt Boy's up. Slogoth up. Like all these things up. Multiples of those things you would have been taking many of. Okay. And then, good God, Tom, your faction terrain costs points. You've got a monstrous trait that costs points. You have 2 artifacts of power that cost points. 2 out of your 3 artifacts of power cost points. 2 out of your 3 heroic traits cost points. And your good battle formation is now 30 points. You're walking into this at like 1930. Easy.
Yeah. Simply insane. Simply insane.
Right? It is crazy what they did here with this side of this. It's nutso. This makes me hate this stuff even more than I already did. So, like the amount of faction terrain and all of these things, they're now costing points. Yeah, exactly. Like Sweat said, the most expensive enhancement section in the game. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, I hate it. Ogres.
Right.
Ogres. Were Cruel Boys that good? I mean, they were pretty good. They were moving up. They were outside of the bounds. They needed to be nerfed. They were above 55% win rate. I just hate the way they chose to do it. That's what it comes down to. So they just play the current edition of the game really, really well, Lichfinder General. So, yep, exactly. Chorf Enthusiast says Destruction spotted the top 10. Time to snipe them. Yep, exactly. Okay. Ogre Maw Tribes. They had many points down, though most of it was on things that you probably don't care about. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Your probably most meaningful one, if any of these matter at all, and I don't think any of them really do, but probably your most meaningful one is like the Frostlord on Thunder Tusk, I guess, if you feel like taking the suboptimal Frostlord for 20 points down, I guess. Like, I'm really hard pressed to say where this matters. I don't think this matters. Refresh this line. Give them a new book. Go. Also, the fact that Mawpath Menaces and Greedy Eaters, that like 2 of their formations now cost 10 points, is just salt in the wound and hilarious. Suns, not really anything meaningfully changed here. So that's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. Little tiny point changes like this do not matter. And then none of the universal manifestation lores changed. And we're not doing regiments. There you go. All right, we got through it. Good night. That's the battle scroll. Overall, Tom, what'd you think of the battle scroll?
It's a lot, and it's a lot of points, and it's only going to take time to see who they kick in the teeth next.
Sure. I mean,
right?
I do think this will bring down. Sure. G-Well with the super chat. Any idea why Mantrapper got initially forgotten in the index, even though it was literally in an army box recently? No, I have no answer for that. Probably because that's just like I'm willing to bet a legitimate mistake is probably my answer. I think this will kneecap several of the good armies. I think the one that's in the best place to keep fighting is Cities. Because I think Cities actually has enough versatility that they didn't need veteran cannoneers and that all that stuff. I think it was just the easiest path. Sure. I think Doc will get hit one of the hardest. They took a ton of points and do not really have another path to victory with their army. I think KO will drop a meaningful percentage, but still be good because I think their entire strategy is just pretty strong right now. So yeah, that's my read on this. And LRL will fall, but I don't know what amount. Could be like 2%. Could be more. I don't know. And I think Iron Jaws with these changes will probably get themselves out of the dumpster level, the dumpster tier. They'll move back up to like 45.4% and will declare victory.
Sure.
right? Like, we did it, boys. Unroll the banner. Mission accomplished. We got there. They're back in the fat middle. Don't need to worry about anything else. We're perfectly good. All right. Cool. Let's after that, Tom, let's take a little, that's right. An hour and 10 minutes into the show. Let's do a pick of the week. What do you want to share with everybody, Tom?
Wait, the show's not over? I thought
Show's
that
not
was
over.
the show.
That was not the show. Nope.
Yeah, no. A couple weeks ago, as always, Ninjon never ceases to disappoint. He did another tools, like tools of the trade, picks for your hobby, like hobby things that you need to check out. And it is enjoyable as always. Man, he farms those clicks for me every time I see that, and I'm just like, tell me more, show me more toys. Every time.
I'm sure. I bet you're watching him more than my videos, I'm sure. So that's fine. I understand.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, I understand. He's good at making videos. That guy is good. He's good at what he does. All right. My pick of the week, if you want more thoughts on the Battlescroll and stuff in there, our good buddy Rob, the Honest Wargamer, did a very nice Battlescroll breakdown. I will link his channel down below. Go and check it out. So it was, he really did breeze through. His thoughts were very concise. He did a better job than us. He did in like 50 minutes. I tried to do it in 50 minutes. We took an hour and 10. Terrible failures. All right. So at any rate, so yeah, check out Honest Wargamer's review. I thought it was really good. I thought he broke down the Battlescroll well, and I think he's pretty on point. Okay. With that, let's talk about some hobby time. Tom, what have you been working on? What's been on your table, buddy?
D&D stuff.
Still working terrain?
And and like from a Warhammer standpoint, I'm doing some liquidations. I'm doing some consolidations and some liquidations, and so I purged my closet yesterday, and I have an entire table of models that I need to sell. So
okay.
Not anything like built or painted or anything like that, right? But just kind of the overstock projects where it's like I'm never going to get to that. That's not a priority. Additions turn over too quick for me to do any of this reliably or build the things that I want to build.
Sure.
Right?
Yep. No, that's fair.
So,
my hobby time has been quite intense. So first off, my long-term project right now, because I always say I have two projects. My long-term project is this girl right here. This is, what's her name? Thalira from Inu Kingdoms. So I turned her into a bit of a wood elf, that kind of thing. So I'm working on her. And I really like how she's coming around. We gave her like some more green type of skin. And yeah, she's really fun. So this has been my big serious project. And I'll be done with her soon. She'll show up in a video or whatever. I really like how she's coming out. She feels good in real life. Then, why, what is this, Tom? What is this? What's this? Why?
Shocking.
Da, 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 da. It is a little chaos dwarf man person guy. I don't know. I like him. So I put this dude together. There will be a video on painting this up. This is my army scheme. It looks like you're not gonna be able to see anything here, but it's like a bronze and purple, but it's using like this green, this verdigris throughout the whole thing that I really like how it came out. And I gotta say, I had a great time painting this. Okay. And here's the thing. This army, it's kind of got me. I'm gonna build this army. I'm gonna play this army. So that's my segue for the actual Chaos Dwarf show. I'm gonna play this army. I don't actually love the mechanics right now. Okay. I think that's all right. It's fine. But I really like the look of it. Like, as I got into these dudes and started looking at the art and like actually looking at the models close up, I was like, you know what? I like these things. And it's a really pleasurable paint job. They're fast, like, but detailed. They're not annoying. And I was like, I can do this. So
Wild.
So for the first time in my entire life, I will be painting a dwarf army. This is the first little guy. So there they are. I really did not think I was going to like this. Yeah.
It took us this long to get here. But here we are.
But we got there. That's right. And so that's cool. So look for more Helsmiths Chaos Dwarf content on the channel. So there you go. I do love a good DPP, absolutely. So all right. Speaking of which, that'll all make sense here in a minute. Let's transition. Let's do it. Talk about them Helsmiths, shall we? There they are. Okay. Boop. Summary. I didn't expect Dwarf Enthusiast. I did not expect to have love for the Helsmiths either. I thought they were too normal. I didn't think they had the riz for me. But then I started putting them together and looking at them, and I was like, now I'm in for this. I like these dudes. They're just a very fun paint, honestly. So there you go.
Do they echo enough of the like Warriors of Chaos style?
Yeah, but simpler, honestly. Like there's a little bit of that. I really like that they have just the right amount of detail, but they're honestly not crazy. Okay. Now in the future, when I assembled this guy, I just put his shield on. And then as I was painting, I regretted that greatly. Okay. So in the future, I will be leaving the shields off.
Sure.
But that's the only sub-assembly. Like, and it's just very fast. Like, they're easy to build. They're very quick. They're like have a classic, like their sprue design, Tom, is front and back torso, leg, or two legs, arm, shield, head. It's like the classic model, right? Like torso, leg, arm, head, shield, weapon. That's it. So it was like just a very easy thing to put together. Sprue is clean, assembles easily, everything fits in tight. Like it was no issue. So yeah, okay. Summary stuff. I think it's a nice full army at launch. Infantry options, shooting, heavy cavalry, war machine. Feels like a full army. We could definitely easily have an expansion here for sure, with some crazier war machines and stuff like that. But it's good. Like we have a full army. Okay. Mechanically, they're this weird, strange CPA accounting tax army, which is the mechanic I like the least. But like it is versatile. It feels a little more like the original OBR, and it's not really the mechanic I was expecting. So,
sure.
Okay. Cody, the nice part, Cody asked, are they going to be a speed paint army or a full send army? The nice part is I found a scheme I can do really quickly that I think looks really good. Like that's one of the things that actually drew me in about them is that I can do a scheme that I think really pops and I can do pretty fast. So win-win, I guess. Like there'll be an army I actually take to competition to somewhere public. How about that?
Sure. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. We have some strong combo potential and real options. Most units have a pretty clear role and function. I like that. Seems very delineated on roles. Okay. Richard Reed says, whoa, Vince, as an accountant, what's with the CPA hate? I don't think I dropped any hate. I just said I wasn't expecting it as a theme for my Chaos Dwarf army. But, whatever. I mean, accountants' brains are just totally different, so that's fine. Most surprising, no manifestations, no faction terrain. New army, Tom. None of those things. Does that mean we get the wave 2 in 6 months that has that crap?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
You're going to get a Hellforge.
Sure. Richard DE, what is an accounting army? My friend, you will see. In just a few short minutes, you will see.
They're dwarves. They have to account.
Okay. I suppose. Hey, I am a product nerd, Richard, not a marketing nerd. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm on the product side. All right. The accounting nerds get in my way. At any rate, very average, if not underwhelming, spell options for an army that will frequently have wizards as their central hero focus. This was the most surprising thing to me. I don't really care. Magic is dumb anyways, and I never expect it to do anything. But, like, their spells and prayers are kind of who gives a crap. I'll just say that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we prepare everyone to be whelmed at best. That is your best case scenario. Okay. All right. Anything you disagree with there?
No, I think that's accurate.
All right. Let's get into the actual. Go away. Okay. Let's get into the actual faction traits. All right. Is your Discord working again? Is your computer calmed down?
It's ish. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you seem stable now. So that's good. Okay. Let's talk battle traits. All right. This is why they are an accounting army. Because your whole gimmick is harnessing demonic power, or DPPs. So you're trying to get all those DPs, okay? And you have to use so once per turn, army, start of your turn.
You need to gather demonic DPs.
Correct. You that's right. There's so many funny ways to say it. I love the acronyms they come up with. You're trying to get DP points, right? Also funny. Trying to capture demonic PPs. That's also funny. This is all funny. Okay. Start of the turn. You pick up all your little tokens you've scattered all over the board, however many you have. And then you've got to reassign that. Then you gain 1 DPP for each friendly desolation token on the battlefield. So that sets your number. Then you can allocate your demonic power points to friendly non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut units. Each unit can have a maximum of 3 demonic power points. Then all unallocated demonic power points are lost. Okay. So I'm assigning some number between 0 and 3 to each unit. And then they're going to get some kind of bonuses out of those DPs. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, once per turn, army, any hero phase, for a command point, you can draw on your reserves of demonic power. You can pick a friendly non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut unit that has no demonic power points to be the target. And then if the total number of DPPs amongst all units, okay, is 3 or fewer, then that unit goes to 2 DPP. If the total number of demonic power points across all units is more than 3, i.e. 4 or more, then they get 1 DPP. Okay. Fine. You might also say, but how do I get these things? Well, how do I get these desolation tokens? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because once per turn army, start of any turn, you can pick a terrain feature or objective that does not have a friendly desolation token and is contested by a friendly Helsmiths of Hashut unit that is not in combat to be the target. And you can give that target a desolation token. Okay? So, what you're going to do is first, you're going to, I love it that they wrote these in completely the wrong order. Their UX is so terrible because the way they try to do this layout. Because if you were actually writing this for user friendliness, that would be the first ability. Right? Because you're going to use it first. Then you would go harness demonic power, then you do reserves of demonic power. Because that's how the actual order is going to go and play out. But anyways, start of the turn, you're going to desolate something. So like top of round 1, you're going to desolate something, right? And then you don't have any tokens to pick up because it's the start of your turn of round 1. And then you would get 1 point for the one thing you desolated, right? You would then assign that 1 point to a unit. And you would then probably in your first turn use reserves of demonic power because you'd have less than 3. And you could then add 2 points to a unit that has none. So on the first turn, 1 unit has 2 and 1 unit has 1. That's kind of your way that's working out. Right? At the top of 1. Now, if you go second, that's different because your once per turn army start of any turn ability to desolate things, which you can use 10 times over the course of the game, would then trigger again. And so now you could have 2 points to hand to one unit and 2 points to hand to another. So it is meaningful whether you're going first or second here, right? Because you only get to reassign the points on your turn, but you can desolate things off turn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. This is why they're an accounting army, because every turn you're like marking terrain, totaling up, getting your little thing, spending your command point, right? Getting your little things. You go from there. Great. It's very like finicky. But I don't hate it that much. It's not that bad, is my honest answer. What do you think of this mechanic, Tom?
I mean, it's annoying as all get out, but it's fine. Like it is. There seems to always need to be at least one army that's like counting tokens, gathering and counting tokens. But it's fine.
Sure.
It's.
I mean, yes, it's like it's a weird mechanic. I don't understand why we're doing this weird accounting reserve tracking. We couldn't think of anything else for this army. Why? Why is this the theme? Let me tell you what's going to happen, and why this is one of the reasons I'm inclined to collect these armies. Certain army rules, Tom, are so intrinsically linked to the army that they will never change. Stormcast lightning from heaven, right? Stuff like that. Okay.
Yep.
It's so obvious how the army should perform. Blood Tithe. Blood Tithe has been Blood Tithe forever. You can you've spent the Blood Tithe on different things over the course of the game, but Blood Tithe has been Blood Tithe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This is nothing. This is completely unconnected to this army. There is nothing about the Helsmiths of Hashut that says this is their mechanic. Nothing.
No. Correct. This can change.
Yes. Next book, this will not be their mechanic.
Right. They're gonna channel PPs instead of gather PPs.
I mean,
they'll just PPs.
Yeah, they'll just pick something completely different.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's one of those things that they just like came up with a mechanic and have no idea what to do with it, right? And they're just like, sure, they harvest points. The hell does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, like the key is that everything is tied to the DPPs.
Yes.
Like all the Warscrolls are, and so they would have to rewrite everything in order to change the DPP situation.
Which they'll do at some point. It'll happen. If not the next book, it's the one after that. Like I promise you this will change. Okay? Like in a significant way.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Blastmeister, by the way, had said, so no way to stack 3 points of anything in round 1. Oh, Blastmeister. Bless your soul. If only. No. I mean, with these 3 rules on offer, correct statement. With the book, no, we can do more. Now, I will say right off the rip, I am impressed with their restraint that there aren't 17 different ways to play around with DPP. Okay. They were actually way more restrained than I thought they were going to be. But Richard reads in the next book, so 2031. Oh no. Oh no. We get books so much more faster than that now. No. Every 3 years, baby, at minimum. At minimum. And that's if they don't get like a second book somewhere in this edition. Okay. Let's talk formations. When I came to formations, I really thought I was going to see something that added to DPP. Okay.
Oh, right. Sure. Yeah.
But I didn't. Instead, what I saw was something I hate more. Okay.
Right. Helping you actually use your mechanic.
I mean, right. None of these help you. They're all just like win more things. Every one of these is if you play a particular army that is leaned in these are my least favorite type of battle formations. This is literally the worst of the worst.
Sure. Yeah, because it's incentivizing linear design.
And it's a win more
linear
mechanic.
Army building.
It is a win more mechanic stacked on top of linear design. They literally got it completely wrong. Like, it's exactly the opposite of what they should be doing with battle formations. Ozzy with a super chat saying, personally, I love the mechanic. Feels like chopping down trees and digging up minerals, draining land dry with creeping industry Isengard style. Yeah, I didn't say it's fine. It's whatever. Like, again, but the idea that they bring heavy industry into where they come into a place, sure. Again, nothing about demonic power points or whatever and accounting them out to units individually is what that has to be. I could think of 10 mechanics right now that have to do with like the desolation of a countryside through an Isengard like mechanic that certainly aren't weird accounting tracker things. Okay. So, but again, yeah, I get it. The desolation thing is fine. That's probably the only part of it that's close to their identity. Why do I say these are win more linear bad mechanics? The first one cares about you playing infantry, okay, where you get to rally some more. The second one cares about you playing, and you have to have 3 demonic power points to use it. Go ahead.
But the consequence of that is, yes, it's infantry, but because it only affects infantry, what that means is that if you have an infantry heavy build, you choose this ability. Right. Or rather, if you choose this ability, you are penalized by not taking more infantry because it's always better to have more infantry to utilize this ability.
Right. And like, it's a dumb ability anyways. It's just like you get to rally some more. Okay, cool, fine, great. And only for the units that have 3 demonic power points. The next one only cares about war machines and only if they have 3 demonic power points. Every one of these formations also restricts the fun of playing this army. These are so bad. I'm like legitimately angry at how bad these are, Tom. Okay.
That makes sense. It makes me laugh that you want to play this army.
Yeah, because I don't care. I'm literally just going to pick one of these at random and move on with my life and forget I have it written down. Because it doesn't matter. You don't actually need any of these. The fun of playing this army should be, with its current mechanic, that you can smartly react round to round, right? Moving your demonic power points around to where you need to put them to get the most advantage. This round, they're on the shooters. This round, it's the caster. This round, it's the war machine. This round, it's my character, right? That I'm making intelligent skill testing choices, right? That's what this should be. Okay. What these battle formations tell you is stick it all on this guy.
Yep. And it will always be on that guy.
Correct.
It will never move.
Never put it anywhere else. Otherwise, you lose your entire battle formation bonus.
Unless you have another monster to move it to, or unless you have another siege piece to move it to. And actually, that's exactly the point. Is that what this does? Is it says if you are going to have this formation for siege, you need to have not only one siege that you're going to leave it on. You're going to have 2 to 3 that you can move it around where you have a redundancy, right? So that this ability never shuts off. And what it ends up doing is it ends up forcing linear choices.
Right.
More siege always, or more infantry, or more monsters, more cavalry, right?
I truly hate these. They warp list building. They warp actual play. They take away from the fun of the army. They are linear. They're win more. They're terrible in every way. This is bad writing. Period. Like, I feel like I need to go over there and I need to go to Nottingham and have a seminar on how a proper battle formation should be written. Okay. Because, like, and I'm not even, notice I haven't even commented on what they actually do yet. Right? Not one piece of this critique was about the actual rules contained within them. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I understand Ishtream. It's not like you're going to spend the game with only 3 tokens. Not totally true. You will eventually build up to be able to have multiple units at 3. Okay? But again,
Which
the
is
incentive
why
would
you
still
need
be
more of those units.
correct. Yes. Right? As opposed to like this round I'll play smart and I'll move over to my shooters because I've got a good chance to 420 blaze it or whatever. Right? So, like, yeah, the actual answer here from a rules perspective is if you're going to run a bunch of war machines, if that's what excites you, then take castigation battery. If you're going to run a bunch of cavalry, which would be very popular because the little bull centaurs are like really, really good, you'll take that one. Otherwise, you'll take the caster one because it's good because casting bonuses are good always. So, like, okay.
It's not just casting, it's casting, unbinding, banishment, and chanting.
Yeah, sure. It's great. And so, I mean, like, that's what's going to end up happening. You know, just move your 3 points around your heroes because they also get really good ward saves when they're stacked up. So, like, you'll just move once you get enough points, you'll just move to them in the like mid to late game when you easily have 3 reliable tokens, and then they'll have their good wards. They can survive deeper into the game, and then they get their bonuses. Okay. Cool. Neat. I love when there's no actual choice or skill test in a thing that's supposed to be written like this. Now, happily, we're about to leave behind the things I really hate. This is like the only thing in the book I really hate. So that's good. So don't fret, people. We've got one bad thing here, but the rest of this is solid. Okay. I mean, the heroic traits and artifacts and spells are all like, they're fine. There's nothing amazing about them, but they're fine.
Sure. You're saying they're not going to be adding points to them anytime soon.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, who knows that? I don't think that matters. I think if it has a high pick rate, so, you know, that's not a question of how good it is. It's a question of how often it gets picked, which isn't actually a statement on quality. It's a statement on how bad the other two are. Okay. Heroic traits. I really like this first one. I think it's super fun. This is in the deployment phase called Servile Automaton. Pick a friendly Helsmiths of Hashut automaton unit, which is like your big machine guys. Yeah.
Yep.
And for the rest of the battle, the target is this unit's bodyguard, basically like a hero and the walker pair up. And while this unit's in combat and its bodyguard is within combat range, its bodyguard has strike first. And if the unit's infantry, it has a ward of 5 up. So super cool. I love pets. You know this, Tom. You know I'm a pet player. You know I always love a pet. True. The fact that I can role play my little demon smith guy walking around with his like cool automaton monster pet that also gives him a 5 up ward, so I don't have to worry about assigning his power points to him to give him a ward is cool. And strike first on those big dudes is actually really good. As we'll see.
Is this what moved the needle for you?
This is, I mean, like I saw there's a lot of things in here I like, actually. Like the way the rules of the units work, I actually really enjoyed. That's what pushed me over the edge, right? It was like, I really liked the models. I liked the look of them. And then I read the rules and I was like, oh, I actually like how these guys work. So like the accounting thing and whatever with the stuff we've done so far, it's like whatever. But the actual just Warscrolls feel good. I like it when a book is written where they have like clear defined roles and I can see playing a mixed arms army and being able to use that to like a skillful end.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And this does have echoes. Somebody mentioned it earlier, but this whole army has echoes of Greywater Fastness, which you know I was a big fan of, right?
Yep.
I do love pets, Richard. You're not wrong. All right. Enemy charge phase, fire you worms. I'm not going to read all the text. You get to Overwatch as per 40K. Okay.
Cool.
So in the enemy charge phase, you pick a shooty unit within 12 of the hero. You tell that unit to shoot. They only hit on 6s. That's it. That's the ability. But it doesn't cost a command point. It's just cool extra shots. So that's fine.
Right.
I'm okay with it. It's a neat command.
Throwing dice.
Yeah, just throw dice, right? I mean, these guys can put out a pretty decent number of shots. So it's not bad. And then finally, an eye for weakness. It's an 18-inch. Pick a visible enemy within 18 inches. Till the start of your next turn, add 1 to the wound rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Helsmiths of Hashut that target that enemy unit. Also a good one. I don't think we'll see
that is
points
good.
here, not because any of these are like super good, but because all three of these I think are actually viable.
Yeah.
So I think that was cool. On net, I think the Eye for Weakness is probably the most useful one.
Yeah.
But I think all three have play. That's right, Cygnus. As always, start rolling dice. Okay, what'd you say, Tom? Sorry, go ahead.
I would say if playing Daughters of Cain taught me anything, being able to just pick bonuses and select enemies to eliminate is always good.
Yeah, like being able to yes, 100%. Like saying that unit right there has to die. Get them, boys.
Get them, boys. Exactly.
Is really good. All right, your artifacts. The Dark Gift. Did you notice what wasn't in heroic traits? Anything to do with demonic power points, which shocked me.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Vince, do you think Chaos Dwarfs are beginner AOS friendly? Model-wise, yes. I think they're actually very friendly to new players. Model-wise. Having painted just the one guy, I actually think they'd be a very good paint for new players. But like you're a good painter, so Richard, so that's not really an issue. Rules-wise, I don't think they're incredibly complicated. It's a pretty tight list. It's kind of annoying. It's more fiddly than something like Ogres or Ironjaws, but it's not terrible. I would say on the new player scale, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, they're like a 6. How about that? Okay. Oh my god, that's so good. Cygnus said, now I really want Sky Pirate Grots with a rule called an I for weakness, like AYE, IE. That's good. Okay. Artifacts of Power. Dark Gifts of Hashut. So first off, we've got the Scroll of Petrification. Once per battle, any hero phase. I'm already against it because it says once per battle, but I do like any hero phase. And this is a very funny artifact. Okay. So in the enemy hero phase, which is when you're going to probably do this, you pick a friendly Helsmiths of Hashut unit, wholly within 12 of this unit to be the target. For the rest of the turn, the target has a ward of 2 up, can't use non-passive abilities to be picked to be the target of friendly abilities, and enemy units can ignore the target for the purposes of movement, charging, or setting them on the battlefield. You literally turn them to stone. So that they and they're just very hard to destroy.
Yeah, yeah, they're statues.
Yeah, they're statues. I think it's a very flavorful item. I also think it could be quite meaningful. With certain like battle tactics and tactics where you could like move somebody quite up into like threatening space where they stand a chance of like pretty easily being countercharged. And then you just throw this on them and like, what's the enemy going to do? If they don't have if they have a ward breaker, this is a terrible loss. Like you're dead. You're dead now.
Right. Right.
But if they don't have a ward breaker, like a lot of your units have like 3-up saves. You're not dying. They will just ignore you and not attack you. Right? You're
right,
impenetrable.
But this is not like a hero. This is not a hero or a monster either, and so you could like choose an like a reinforced infantry block.
That's what I'm saying.
That's on an objective.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and just it's not going anywhere.
Yep. Like I think as a design, this one's a real win. Right? I think it is useful tactically.
Yeah. I
think it is interesting. Like thematically, it has a great verisimilitude to it. So yeah, I dig it. And then we've got the Crucible of Spite. Once per battle, your hero phase effect, give up to 3 demonic power points. There it is, to this unit. However, you cannot allocate or give any more demonic power points to this unit for the rest of the battle. So like once per game, you get to decide that the hero just has 3 points.
Yep.
Now, I think this would be right. This would actually, I would love this if and only if this was enemy hero phase.
Sure.
Because I could know that they're in trouble and then pop their ward on. That would be the advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but then you don't get it for the rest of the game. Like you have to assume that you're probably losing that unit in order to use this item.
Potentially. I mean, like, there are some uses for this. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's better than the scroll if you're going to pick the once per battle things. That's the trick. But I think this is really powerful and interesting. You know, if you're in the, like, casty battle formation, this does, like, it's just an instant way to pop up and get your bonus without messing with any of your other resources, right? And so like it can be meaningful. So G-Well says this scroll is basically a late game troll to keep that key unit or hero alive one turn longer to clinch things. Yeah, I agree. Like Tom, this is exactly the kind of spell you would take on one of your D&D wizards, right?
Correct.
Like the Scroll of Petrification. 100%.
Correct. Because it's going to be meaningless 98% of the time, but that 2%.
Do you know when it's going to be useful, Tom? Let's say you need to break into House Kundarak's vault of whispers, okay? You got to turn yourself to stone. That's it. That's how you get in.
Yep. And you get a word of 2+.
That's right. That's a reference just for Tom. But tune into Fireball the Gazebo, John and I's RPG podcast, and I'm sure I'll tell that story at some point in time of the craziest heist in the history of heists.
You alluded to it in episode 2 or 3.
I know. I've alluded to it, but I haven't told the whole story. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And then finally, the Gauntlets of Punishment, your shooting phase. You get to pick a visible enemy unit within 12, roll a d3 on a 2-up. They take that much mortal damage. It just gives you the little, click, click, boom, fire shot thing, which is fine.
It just gives like free arcane bolt.
Yep. It's just free arcane bolt. So it's cool. Okay. Crucible of Spite has big synergy with Uruk Tar's ability. Yes. Yes, it does. We'll talk about it in a second when we get to Uruk Tar. All right. Spell lore 6, 7, and 8, which I'm not in love with. Let me just say that as far as casting numbers go.
Sure. Well, I heard wizards are stupid, so you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, magic is dumb, correct. So it doesn't actually matter. But your unlimited spell is an 18-inch range, have the target's move characteristic.
That's a troll spell.
Yeah, it's okay. If it did anything else, like just having move alone, I often find to be not as powerful as you think it would be, right? Because people can often still like run on top of it, charge on top of it, stuff like that. It's not bad, but if this is like 24 inches, I would love it a lot more. It's at best meh, honestly, as your unlimited spell. If it was, unlimited spell should almost universally be self buffs. I'll just say that. Okay. Ash and Smog on a 7 is you pick a terrain feature within 18 inches of them that has a desolation token, and then you cast. That terrain feature then gets obscuring until the start of your next turn, and then you also get to roll for enemies and do the D3 mortal damage to them, right? It's, again, fine. It's more obscuring. Obscuring is already pretty strong. You know, they can potentially make like 2 things per turn now obscuring if they're near a place of power, right? That's so
cool. Yeah,
it's good anti-shooting tech. It's quite a lot of obscuring. And then Molten Metal on an 8 is basically you pick a visible enemy unit, and you make a roll of 2d6, again 18 inches. You roll a number of dice equal to the unmodified casting roll, and you get 1 mortal damage on the target for each roll that equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic. So obviously really strong against high save stuff. You know, Stormcast and S2D and 3-up save people in general are going to get hosed by this, but like your average roll is a 7. Out of those 7 dice, 4 of them are going to come up 3-up. It's worth 4 mortal wounds. Is that really worth an 8 casting? You know, we just talked about like the Zenestra thing that's just like plopping out D6s like it's going out of style. Meanwhile, this is on an 8. I just feel like they're really too sensitive about this stuff. So, okay. It's some mortal damage. You should have an attack spell in your spell lore. It exists. I would rate their spell lore as existing. The prayer lore, which is weird because you have 1 priest, okay, and he's like a little dork. But that's fine. But you get your old prayer lore. Your unlimited prayer is which is such a weird choice. Your unlimited prayer is a horde buster.
Yep. I hate those.
Why?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate. I like horde busters in general are fine, but they're a silver bullet, and silver
Correct.
bullets don't belong in the unlimited slot.
Right. They're not
Right.
the spammable thing.
Right. Right. Then you've got Furnace Blessing, which is just really good. Like it's the thing you're actually going to pray for. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is it casts on a 4, and you add 1 to the rend characteristic of the target's melee weapons. If the chanting roll is 8+, their weapons go crit mortal. There are so many good targets for this.
Mhm.
So great prayer, A+. This is what you're chanting for, right? Great. And then Storm of Obsidian Shards is a mortal damage prayer with an 18-inch range on an enemy. You do D3 mortals, and you subtract 3 from the target's control score. If you get a 10+, you get to do a second unit. Again, why is this on a 5 and a 10? Do they really? Their conception of what's good is so baffling to me. +1 rend on a reinforced unit of bull centaurs is so much more damage than Storm of Obsidian Shards. It's like not even close.
It's true.
Okay. Especially if it becomes crit mortal. I'm just talking about the +1 rend. If it becomes crit mortal, good night.
Yeah.
Okay. That is insane amounts of damage. Like, that is easily worth 5 to 10 on the base alone.
Yes, but you're not always going to like they're not always going to be in range though, right?
Sure, I agree.
Like
You
you're
got to
not
walk
always
those
have
guys
your-
up there. I agree.
Right.
Which is why they should be on the same number. They
Sure.
should both be 4/8.
Sure.
It is not better to like tickle one person once a turn with your one priest.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
there you go. All right. Let's talk Warscrolls. But anyways, they got there's some good prayers there. That's the point. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Where are we at here? All right. Warscrolls. Cool. They do have crit mortal base. Yes, one of them does. Nelazar. The other one doesn't. They have like, yeah, it's because there's 2 different types of bull centaurs or whatever. I'm talking generically about them. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So first, Uruk Tar, the first Daemon Smith. So first of all, this dude rules. I don't know. I still don't know what to think about these bulls. Like, I'm gonna get one of these guys, and I'm really interested to see this thing in person. I want to know if I can make this thing look cool. This like robotic mount. So we'll see. At any rate, 16 health, 3 up save, 10 move, 5 control because he's a monster.
Do you want to know what?
I don't know. What?
Oh.
I want to know if I can make the bull thing look cool.
Oh,
that's
sure.
the question. I think so. But we'll see. Okay, this guy has a lot of abilities. So he has a lot of attacks, and like they're fine. He has a shooting attack marked as present. It votes present. He's got a wizard bonk because he's a wizard. And the bull thing itself is like pretty good on damage. It's 4 hit, 2 rend, and 4 damage, right? Can we get a quick lore review? Oh my god. I'll talk about it at the end. How about that? I'll talk about it, Arden Throne. Actually, no, I'll just do it now. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Quick lore review. My overall feeling on the lore is of the Helsmiths from what I read is it's a little underwhelming. Like, I like it. There's some really nice individual vignettes and cool stories. I feel it's a little too leaning into the theme of like, I know it's gonna sound funny, but like it has this like desolation industrial Isengard theme like was mentioned earlier. And that's fine. I just feel like the general lore is a little too reliant on that. Like, yeah, but is there anything else going on? Do they do other things? Like, I wish it talked more about what they like, how they seek to build stuff and their craft. And you get little bits of that, but not quite as much as I wanted. Right. Like, why as much do they love this industry? And what is their personal sense of building? And like, you know, the whole curse and the turn to stone thing is fine. That's all handled perfectly well, but that's basically just a retread of the old existing lore, right? But overall, I think it's a good first step, I'll say. I didn't really find Uruk Tar, like they talk about it. He's in there. He shows up. He's fine. Yeah, like nothing jumped out to me about him. He didn't have like the personality that made me like think he was super cool. There's a couple other smaller characters you meet in the lore there that I think were more interesting, honestly. So that's a really good way to say it, Cygnus. They're hearkening back to Tsar Nagrund a bit too hard. Yeah, I think it's actually a really good summary. Like if you know the old Tsar Nagrund stuff. Yeah, I think that's a good summary. Okay. How was that? Iron Throne, how'd I do? Hope I lived up to the super chat. Like it's good. They feel like they're doing a thing. Let me say that. Okay, like that is to say, you get it, you get what they're all about. That's all fine. But I just wish we would have had more like personal stories, as it were. Which sounds weird, I know, but I don't know. Yes, I think there's like a good enough base here that we can expand in the future. All right. So the bull is plenty damaging enough. His thing is like most of the heroes, where if he gets DPPs, he gets a ward, but then his is slightly better because he also gets casting bonuses, right? So like he doesn't just get the ward stack that most of the heroes get. He also gets +1 to cast or +2 to cast, right? And then that's kind of where it caps. So it's like 6 up, 1 to cast and 5 up, 2 to cast, and 4 up against manifestation, spells, prayer stuff, and then or 5 up otherwise. So he becomes like a pretty mega caster, which if that's why all of the spells are set so high, don't do that.
It might be a combination of that and the subfaction, because the subfaction is going to add an additional 1 on top of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like that's a generic bonus.
Yep, for sure. But anyways, like I just put it, whatever. It's fine. Okay.
Yep.
We don't need to go back into it. He has his own spell called the Curse of Stone. It's on a 7. Pick a point on the battlefield within 9 of this unit, then pick a second point on the battlefield within 9 of the first point. Hold on. What? I gotta do some math here. Let me get out my protractor. Draw a line between the caster and the first point, and then between the first and second points. Okay. You got me? All right, so here's what we're doing. So you can like bank shot it. You can put some English on it or whatever. And then each enemy unit the line passes across is the target, and then you roll a D3 for each target. On a 2-up, they take that mortal damage. Yep. What a walk we're going to go on to roll some 2-up mortal wounds things, right? It's very funny to me. Like that like okay. They also don't say in here, okay? I don't know if this is worded right or not, but can I draw the line out and then draw it right back? Or does that make them the target twice? I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. I'm not good enough with the nuance of the rules to know whether or not that works. Okay. Then we get our rampage, which is Pitiless Trampling. If this unit charged, blah, blah, inflict D3 mortal damage, then roll 2d6, you can float around. You know, it's the I hit somebody and then
bounce.
Float, and then bounce thing. Yeah. So that's cool. You have to end in combat, which is fine. And then enemy hero phase, the Master of Demonic Power. Remove up to 3 demonic power points in total from any combination of friendly units wholly within 18 inches of this unit, then allocate them to a different friendly non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut unit wholly within 18 of this unit. So that's cool.
That makes him basically required, right? Because this allows you to turn, like, he becomes an anchor that you can move points around to keep the ward save on whatever you need it to be on.
Right. Correct. Yep. That's right. So he lets you be reactive with your points off turn, right? That's the simple story here. He's 350 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds about
Yep.
right.
And you can't do it any other way. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't be reactive like that any other way outside of maybe that item, right? Because that item is any hero phase. Um,
No, it's your
so
hero
it
phase.
feel is it your okay? Sorry. He is the way that you can be reactive with your points, which means
Yep.
that it seems like he's an auto include at that point.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Like, I would need to play with lists, and since we like just got the points today finalized, like the the real points as it were, I haven't built lists yet, so I don't know. Is my answer. But I could see like he certainly seems like a strong include. I'll rate him that for sure. I think he'll be a very popular pick. Oops, sorry. All right, Damon Smith on Infernal Taurus, the generic version of this guy. This guy's 15 health, so he's got 1 less wound. Otherwise, still 3-up save, 5. Basically the same profile. He's, but he also has a bonk stick. That's fine. He also has his little bad shooting attack and so on. It's all slightly worse. So, okay. He's only a wizard 1. The other guy's wizard 2, so on and so forth. He gets the standard demonic resilience. He has his unholy stampede. While a friendly Helsmiths of Hashut cavalry unit is wholly within 12, that unit can use a retreat ability and still charge abilities later in the turn, and no mortal damage is inflicted on that unit by retreat abilities. That's why I was hedging against your auto include, because I think you'll probably end up taking one of these two guys in a lot of lists. But if you're in like the cav heavy list, this is a really potent ability. The fact that you can let your different bull units like retreat and recharge is really strong. Right. And is it worth, like, he's only 30 points cheaper as it is right now. And he has a crappy rampage comparatively. Okay. I mean, it's funny against like 4 health units to roll a 5 or a 6 and you just ace one of them. Like, that is hilarious. To like kill enemy, sort of like Ratoger style units or whatever. But this guy, in my estimation, you're only taking if you're running cav heavy. I just don't think he's got any juice otherwise. He's so aligned to that unit, which is fine, by the by. Like, I'm not crapping on that. I'm just saying, like, he is a very obvious power pair with the bull people. Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Fazaroon. Like, bull centaurs don't need points to be effective, so just going all in on them, and one of these might be played. Yeah, I think that is not wrong. Like, so maybe, honest maybe. By the way, Tom, a fun thing about this box, the little box that I got, right? These like symbols and stuff on their banners, they actually have decals in the box. You get a decal sheet in the box, which is cool. I don't know when the last time I got an AOS box with a decal sheet in it. So that's cool. It's neat. Just a small thing that I thought was cool. So if you don't like freehand on banners, you don't have to. The War Despot, your little foot basic infantry hero. 6 health, 3-up save. He adds control to infantry, and he has a pile in. He has like a chain fight activation that gives +1 attacks with infantry. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Not a wizard. Not anything. The War Despot, though, only 90 points. $90 points for a chain fighter that gives, like, I don't care about the control score buff. I really don't. He's got a perfectly fine classic Stormcast attack profile that has crit mortal, so it's good enough. And the fact that he gets +1 attacks is like, that's pretty good. Like, I don't hate that at all. So for 90 points, and he's a bonus hero, by the by. Like, he can go in literally anybody else's regiment. Anybody. Anybody can take this guy as a bonus hero. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think this guy is actually going to be included quite a lot. I think he's actually really good. Because, as we'll see in a moment, I think there's actually some value to having that that +1 attack guy on some of your dudes. All right, the Damon Smith. This is your basic foot wizard. He has attacks. They don't matter. He has 6 health and a 4-up save. That's fine. Whatever. And his little special ability is once per turn, army your hero phase. So you are very much incentivized not to have multiples of these. But he has a heal. Right.
Sure.
And if he has demonic power, he extends the range of the healing. So he can like reach out farther. He can heal. It's war machines only, I should state, by the by. He heals war machines.
Sure.
That's what he's doing because he's a Damon Smith. So he's fixing the machines. I don't really know that you care about the extended range. He's probably not that far away from them, honestly. But okay.
Well, a reminder that your both of the like mounted Taurus guys are war machines.
Oh, they are. I didn't catch that the first read. Oh, nice. Okay, never mind. I take it back. That's awesome. I like this guy way more now. I missed that they were war machines. I just thought they were.
So yeah. Those are robots, and so the way that you paint these and make them interesting is you give them an internal energy or heat, right? You had mentioned like making them interesting. That's how you do that with robots, right?
Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
And that's what these are.
Yeah, I take it back. Okay, I'm way in harder on this guy now. I thought it was just neat because he could like heal your basic war machines, but I completely missed they were war machines. Good catch. Good catch. Ozzy with the super chat saying, "Gotta run for the night. Before I do, thanks for the coverage. Can I make a timely request for advice on painting Durger skin?" So I have a drow skin tutorial, Ozzy. If you watch this back later, I would recommend highly you go check that out. That's probably there. But like I'm doing mine with more traditional sort of Caucasian skin tones. You don't see much of their face, but I'll see what I can do. Anyways, yeah, okay. I'm in for this guy now. The Damon Smith is 110 points. Seems perfectly good. So, which one is the robot? Both of these guys are robots. I didn't even catch that they had War Machine. I just kind of like my eyes just glanced down here and was like monster, wizard. Yep, okay, what I expected. Right? And then I just stopped reading. But yeah, both of the bull guys are
they
War Machines.
They are riding robo. They are riding robo bulls.
Yeah. Cool. All right, great. Fun. And then your last hero, your Ashen Elder. This is your priest. He's your basic foot priest guy, your only priest, I should say, because you don't have like a big mounted priest thing, which I was kind of sad about. I think this model also has a stupid head. I think his head looks dumb. Because he's meant to be like stony or whatever, but
sure,
something. I don't know. Yeah, I think he looks dumb. I think my Ashen Elder is going to look a lot different. I'll say that much for sure. There's like one of the few models in this army that I didn't love. I actually think the Demon Smith rips. I think that dude looks great. But the Ashen Elder, again, 6'4". He has attacks. Who cares? And then he has an end of your turn ability that if this unit is contesting an objective, a place of power or a terrain feature, and that objective, place of power, or terrain feature is desolated, then he gets a ritual point, which is cool because he'll probably sit in the back line on something you have desolation on and just cool. It's a shame it's only end of your turn. It'd be a lot neater if it was just end of any turn. That'd be actually pretty cool.
Sure.
But it's not. And he has stoked fanaticism. Ignore the first damage point allocated to each friendly non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut unit each phase while it is wholly within 6 inches of this unit. Add 6 inches to the range of this ability for each demonic power point this unit has. So it can be quite a massive bubble of just like ignore 1 around this guy if you're dumping points onto him. Right?
Right.
So,
right.
So there you go. Yeah, I knew it could heal, Mark. I knew it could heal the walkie guys. That's why I liked it, but you know, that's fine. That and like just healing the actual shooty war machines. But the Ashen Elder is cool. He's 120 points. I think the prayers are better than the spells, so you'll probably have one of these guys in your list. I think it's a useful ability. I think he's fine. Again, points for all their heroes honestly seem quite correct. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the infantry, but whatever. The units, as it were. We'll start with the shooters. They're the shooters. Okay. And here we have 2 different units of shooter types. The first thing that surprised me, Tom, when I flipped to this with this is that they were health 1. Did that surprise you as well? Like just thinking about this?
Yeah. Yeah, well, dwarves have historically not been health 1 recently,
Right. But they are. These guys
right?
are
Like,
health 1.
that's yep,
So
which is
what do,
wild.
it is. It is. So we've got our Infernal Razors with Blunderbusses, and we've got our Infernal Razors with Flame Hurlers. Okay. All
Mhm,
right. Great.
mhm.
Our Blunderbussers are 5 for 110. So again, you're taking a 1 health. I mentioned I really like Acolytes, but I like them at 90 points. These guys are 20 points more. Same health profile. Better save on a 4-up, but not a great save.
Mhm.
Perfectly fine save. You can reinforce them up to 10, obviously, and that's where you're stopping here. And the flame hurlers, hurleys are 5 for 100. Okay. And effectively, the important part about both of these guys is that you add 1 to the rend characteristic of their ranged weapons for every demonic power point they have. This is the thing that everyone read at default and was like,
Yeah.
I can have rend 3 shooters.
Sure.
Now they're rend
Sure.
nothing by default being the key to compensate for that, right?
Sure. Sure.
So the blunderbuss guys are like 18-inch range, 1 attack each, right? 3s, 2s,
Yep.
rend somewhere between none and 3,
Sure.
right? 2 damage each.
Yep.
2 damage each is very
Yep.
appealing, but you're getting 11
At
shots out
18
of these
inches.
guys at 18 inches.
Yep. Yep.
If they target
don't
the
hate
same,
that.
absolutely. If they target the same enemy unit, then you roll a die. If it's add the number of enemy models in the target unit slain. If the result is 6+, then that target goes strike last. Pretty solid,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Especially because they have things like the earlier heroic trait we mentioned, where like that is true. Acolyte Globadiers are 2 health. The little Skaven are healthier than these guys. That's a good point. Harp scored. The man, they're so good. Anyways, the fact that you can like pick the unit, give them everybody's +1 to wound, right? And then like have and then like give them strike last and then just slam jam them is actually a pretty good way to deal with those sticky anvils. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's true.
Flame Hurleys, much shorter range at 12 inches, but they do have shoot in combat. There are 3 attacks each at 2s and 4s. Great on the off-turn shot, right? Because at -1, you're 3s and 4s. All 2s and 4s weapons are like great as unleash targets. Okay. And again, no rend, only 1 damage this time. Their special ability is once per turn, army your shooting phase. If this unit used a shoot ability in this turn, and all of its attacks targeted the same enemy infantry only unit, then you roll a die. On a 3-up, you subtract an amount equal to the roll from the target's control score until the start of your next turn. Okay. I mean, they get a lot more shots. They're pretty decent off turn, but I really think the blunderbusters are like better.
Sure.
Both abilities are once per turn army, so like I don't know, is there an excuse to maybe take a unit of each? Maybe. The 12-inch range is rough. That is really rough for a shooting attack.
Yeah. It's
Like
just not reliable, and like they're
right.
low mobility already. So.
Exactly. When you're a 4-inch move, the difference between 12 and 18 inches is like so unbelievably huge. So
it's half the game.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, I mean, the blunderbusters, great. Flame hurlers, probably need more. I probably need to. Is my answer. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, our little hobgrots. They're trash. They're little trash people that are here to do a pregame move. There you go. And that is the end of this story. There are 10 of them for 70 points, Tom. 70.
Yeah, that's sounds like my hot drops.
Yep. They're a little trash unit that gets a pregame move, which is better now since you can still be a scout. So Excellent. They can also, importantly, they can move forward and allow you to desolate stuff deeper in the battlefield at the start of the game.
Sure.
So that's fine. Okay. Now we come to our two melee folks. We've got our cohort, Infernal cohort with the blades, with the blades, and the Infernal cohort with the spears. I built my little guy with spears because I think the spears rule, as we'll see in just a moment. One, because I like the look of spears better than the swords, but I also think the spears are better. All right, so what do we got here? The blades are 2 attacks, 3 spores, no rend, 1 damage. Anti-infantry, +1 rend, so they go to rend 1. So pretty average stuff so far. They have the standard, like, champion, musician. They do not have a standard bearer, which is sad. You, when you run with them, if you roll a 1 to 3, you get a 4, because they have, like, this disciplined march. That's fine. They have their little gong carrier, which is a little token guy. It's a little token hobgrot that follows your unit along, right? There is 1 gong carrier for every musician in this unit. If this unit uses the rally command as a reaction, you can remove a gong carrier to make an additional rally roll of d6. Okay. Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Fine. And
so this is our little unit of weird dudes? Is that basically what this is?
No, this is your standard infantry.
Not really.
Stuff. This is your completely standard infantry. That's what these guys all look like. The two, I hate that they used that picture because the musician is the weird one. He's like armorless and banging the hobgrot's gong. All the rest of them look like this. Okay. So like they literally picked a completely non-representative picture for these guys, right?
Ridiculous.
Which is weird. So like it's cool that they get to run 4 base. That's not a bad ability for sure. And they get a ward, right? So they're 3-up base save. Demonic power points give them a ward. They can be very anvil-y. These guys are 100 points for 10. Very straightforward, perfectly fine unit. Okay? Not turning the world, perfectly fine. But I like the spear dudes. Spear dudes are basically the same wheel, still on a 3-up. Same accoutrement with the gong carrier and all that stuff. Okay? But I like this. In your hero phase, declare, if this unit is contesting an objective you control, pick a friendly, non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut unit wholly within 12 to be the target. Roll a die. On a 3-up, they get a demonic power point. So that's not a once-per-turn army. Multiple units of these guys can each activate the ability, right? Now, it does say you cannot make more than 1 roll for each objective in each turn, regardless of how many friendly units with this ability are contesting that objective, all right? So you're going to need to be on some kind of map where you can be contesting multiple objectives, and then each one of them is passing it out, right? They can give it to themselves, which is nice, all right? And they are a way to get another unit to 3 DPP in the first turn, right? Because you can use the command point to push them to 2, do this, and on a 3-up, you push them to 3. So, like, if you're trying to get, like, let's say a unit of shooters, you know, like the enemy goes first, moves up, you've got 2 units on 2, these guys can roll out, hopefully knock one of your shooter units up to 3, and then you can 420 blaze it, and that just burn that unit off the table.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So I like the spear guys. The spear guys are also anti-cavalry +1 rend and anti-charge +1 rend, a combination of 2 abilities that I like more because as a 4-inch move, you ain't making charges. You are getting charged.
No. Correct. Right? They're coming into you. Yeah.
Right. So these tend to be like objective sitters that are going to sit there and like making it more painful to charge them is good in my estimation. So there you go.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if this unit has 2 DPP, they're 3-up, 5-up. They're plenty tough, right? So they can survive. Now our bull centaurs and anointed sentinels. By the way, when I've been saying bull centaurs, I've been like referring to both of these guys. I know they're different, but they're both the same in my book. Like, it's the same kit. I'm not whatever. So I mean these guys, because they're both cavalry. So they're both 4 health, 10-inch move, 4-up save things. The important part here is really that they, their speed in an army that can often lack a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Right? They come in units of 3, obviously, because they're like heavy. They're that type of unit. We all knew that before I said it. The Anointed Sentinels are 3 for 160. The Bull Centaurs are 3 for 190. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bull Centaurs themselves, 3 for 190. So you're getting 12 health on a 4-up save for 190 points. But what do you get out of that? They make 4 attacks on 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 2, but they have the magical combination of charge +1 damage and crit mortal.
Oof. Oof.
Hitting these guys with even like the base prayer to bump their rend, like you don't need the advanced prayer because they already have crit mortal. Turning them to rend 2, killers.
Oof. Yeah, they're monsters.
Absolutely. In their charge phase, they get to roll up and do a bunch of mortal damage. They have like a really good charge trigger ability. It gets even better if they have demonic power points. You can actually get like quite a lot of damage out of this if you're if they're fully souped up. And they also add 1 to their charge rolls for each demonic power point they have. Okay. So like the regular Bull Centaurs, if you're souping them, let's say they're at 3, right? They're at +3 to charge. And when they hit, if you've got 6 models in the unit, you're rolling 6 dice. And effectively, for every 3 on the dice you roll, they do a mortal damage. So you're going to get 4 mortals on the charge out of it. Right?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, as well, just to flip back to it, because we blew past it kind of quickly here. If you're in the Bullfather's Horns and they already have those 3 demonic power points, they also move base 12. So you're talking about a 12-inch base move unit with a +3 to charge that hits like a truck when it comes in. These guys are great in combination with some of the blunderbusters to make strike last, so you can bring like multiple units in and not have to worry about reprisal, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So they're really strong. The Anointed Sentinels are basically, they get the same charge bonus thing. Okay.
Okay.
So like the +1 for every 1. But they have a reaction. You declared a countercharge command for this unit. They get strike first. Their thing is they are better on the countercharge. Like they want to ride out and fight off turn.
Sure.
They have anti-cavalry +1 rend and charge +1 damage. They still get the +1 damage, but they do not have the crit mortals, which is a shame.
Yeah.
They have 1 less attack base. Otherwise, their stats are the same. So also not as good. You know, they're 30 points cheaper. I don't know. I think the Bull Centaurs, even being 30 points more, are kind of the clear winners here, for sure. Like,
sure.
Those guys
they're
are
just
like,
so good.
They're so
just
good.
hammers.
They're just Mack trucks. Like, again, the role definition here, right? Like, that's why I like the spear guys. They fit that role of an anvil really well. Being able to have that unit's 3 up, 5 up with that anti-charge +1 rend that can actually pass out utility buffs. Perfect anvil. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Right? These guys, as my mobile hammer, great. Doing everything I want them to do. Right? Like, people, they just designed this really clearly with the roles in mind. That's actually what appealed to me most on. Because, you know, I like it when, like, I like being able to have a lot of different pieces on the board and then use them in their like little appropriate ways. I hate spam lists. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. The Death Shrieker. It has 8 health and a 3-up save and stuff like that. Who cares? Like, whatever. If people go attack your war machines, they're dead. So whatever. So what does the Death Shrieker do? Other than look awesome. This does not have the small barrel problem you pointed out. Those missiles look cool as. Okay.
Sure. I would agree with that.
Okay. So they're Hashuzar rockets. 24-inch range, 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, D3 +2 damage. I like that profile. That's a good profile. Okay.
Yeah.
They also
It'll
have
kill
once
stuff.
it'll kill stuff. Now, of course, we've got the old obscuring problem, but somebody's going to stick their head out eventually, and then they're going to catch some rockets in the face. Now, we have a couple abilities here. First off, Hungering Flames. Your shooting phase. For the rest of the turn, the damage characteristic of this unit's Hashuzar rockets is 5 if the target is a monster or war machine. So instead of the D3
Love
plus 2,
that.
just straight 5. Straight cash, homie.
I'm going to point out, by the way, is that the language here, it mirrors the new language for Cruel Boys.
Yes,
so
for the rest of
maybe
the turn.
what happened was that it actually matters in this army, maybe, right? And what they want to do is standardize the language across all instances.
Yeah, I think that's right. You broke up a little bit. I got what you're saying. Yes, I think they're just making that the standard terminology. Now, I will also say, if you really love these war machines, you were clear. You just broke up a little. Again, let's scroll back just so we remind ourselves here. If you're in the castigation battery, you add 1 to the attacks characteristics of your ranged weapons, so it would go to 4 attacks, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They also have a reaction. You declare a shoot ability for this unit, and all of its attacks target the same enemy unit. Roll a number of dice equal to the number of DPPs. For each other enemy unit within the combat range of the target of this unit's shooting attacks, for each 3+, they take immortal damage. So you actually get like splash damage, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
What you're tending to do there is kill some character that's standing too close to the infantry unit it wants to be a power pair with. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. All right. The Tormentor Bombard. This is more your like infantry cavalry killer, obviously, as you can see from the anti-cav and anti-infantry +1 rend. This has a 30-inch range, but it's 3s, only rend 1, which I don't love as much, but it will go to rend 2 a lot against your targets. Damage D3.
Yep.
I'd like it a whole lot better if it went to rend 3. I'll just say that. Because damage D3 is real swingy. Real swingy. And this has the Ruinous Bombardment. If this unit used a shoot ability this turn, and all of its attacks target the same enemy unit, that enemy unit is a target, then you pick a number of enemy units within 6 inches of the target equal to the number of DPP. Roll a die. On a 3-up, that unit cannot use commands until the start of your next turn. That is a... Excuse me, I'm sorry. That is a long time to shut off commands.
Yep.
From your shooting phase until the start of your next turn. Good night. And they get +1 to hit if they target enemy unit with 5 or more models that is more than 12 from this unit. I like that as well.
Love
very
that.
much. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that it cuts at 5, not 10. So, like, thank you very much, David. Both of these war machines, I think, are pretty good, actually. Like, oh, and what do they cost? That would be a reasonable question. The Death Shrieker is 140. The Tormentor is 130. So also, you know, not bad. Pointed about where I would expect them to be.
Yep.
Again, clearly defined
I think
role.
that they have a healthy place in the game.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Like, these are great war machines. Like, good war machine design. Good design is good. Okay, now we'll get to the big dominators, the big bull things. I love these dudes. I think they look awesome. Because I love big robots. Big robots. All right, so these dudes are 10 health with a 2-up save and a 6-inch move, which is not great. But don't worry, it gets better. So this is the melee one, right? This guy, your Dominator engine with his Bane maces, is 170 points. He's got 4 attacks, 4 to hit, 2 to wound, 1 rend, 3 damage, charge +1 damage. Do not love that rend. Do not love that rend.
Nope.
But damage 4 is good. So, okay. Bull versus Bull in Chrome Rangers. That's right, Chrome Rangers, the new one-on-one mech fighting game coming from Snarling Badger in like a month and a half. Check it out. It's going to be great. Okay. And so once per turn, army, any combat phase, if this unit is in combat with any enemy heroes, it can use 2 fight abilities, blah, 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 strike last, yada, yada. That's whatever. The important part here is the demonic strength. For every DPP it has, it gets +1 move and +1 attack. Way better, right? This guy, the difference between this guy running around at 4 demonic power, or sorry, at 0 demonic power points and 3 demonic power points is night and day. Because move 9 and 7 attacks is really good. Move 6 and 4 attacks is really bad.
Yep.
So, like, if you take one of these dudes, he's just going to soak up points. Right. Okay. Yeah, 2+ save, doesn't bracket. He's a war machine. Being a war machine is awesome. There are very few things in the game with bonuses to war machines. I mean, they exist, but it's not a lot. It's pretty rare.
Man, that Iron Jaw is the Army of Renown.
Sure.
Army-wide, Ren 1 against war machines.
Get them.
Coming to Crump. Let's go.
Absolutely. Then your Dominator engine with the Immolation cannons. This guy is 190. Same wheel. His Immolation cannons are an 8-inch range. Sad. That is too short range for any gun, especially a gun of that size, but whatever. 5 attacks, 2 to hit, 4 to wound, 1 rend, D3 damage. Does have anti-cav +1 rend, which I actually really like. This army actually has a really nice, healthy mix of the anti-whatever rend, right? And then he does have charge +1 damage with his little, I beat you with the ends of my cannons, but, you know, that's probably not what you're wanting to do with this guy. Now, 5 attacks base, you can choose if you target 2. He's interesting because almost everything else we've said that talks about shooting wants you to, like, focus in on one thing to get its bonus, right? This guy wants you to split attacks. Like 3 over here, 2 over there. And if you do that, you get 2 more attacks, but you got to split those 2 up. So it goes to 4 and 3.
As an aside, the demonic strength here is just +1 attacks, which includes his ranged attacks.
It does.
So that 5 will jump to an 8 if he were to ever have the DP, and then if he splits, he could shoot 5 and 5.
That is also correct. You got it.
So
yep, pretty darn good, I think. Again, this guy.
I mean, not really. Not needed.
I mean, here's the thing. I like both these guys at the points they're at. I think for 170 and 190, for like a 10 health 2-up save thing that can do like some good damage, they're honestly not bad. Like, I think they got the points right. This is the same points you would normally, they would have previously pointed this at like 250 to 300.
Yep. They're also healable by your foot Damonsmith.
By your Damonsmith, yeah.
Which not bad. It's like a D3 plus the power, right? And so, okay.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. Thank you. Yes, if you split, it's 2 attacks per unit. Thank you. You're right. You're right. Yes. Sorry, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 2 attacks per unit.
Oh, that could be super interesting
for each target pick. So if you were up at 8 and you target 2 units with 4 and 4, you would go to 6 and 6. Yes, correct. That's what it is.
Right. But if you're at 8 and you split it between 3 units, you could get up to 14 attacks.
Pick one the student's immolation cannons for each target picked. Well, they have to be split evenly between the targets you picked. So I don't.
Right. So that you get 2 per target. So if you have 2 targets, you get 4 total, 2 each. If you have 4 targets, you get 8 bonus attacks, 2 each.
Yeah. So in your perfect world, where you're at 8 attacks and you target 8 units, he makes 3 attacks against each of those 8 units.
He goes up to 24 attacks.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, cool. Yes, and he does have shoot and combat. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, probably not. Probably again, not. Like most likely he'll get into 2 units. With 8-inch range, he'll get into 2 units, which is fine.
Which is fine.
Like he's a good counter charge. Like he's a good counter, like a backup counter charge behind another unit.
Yeah, you don't actually mean countercharge, but I know what you meant. He's a good like beta striker. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yes, correct. A beta striker.
Yep. No, that's true. Cool.
And he's shooting while in combat, which helps as well.
That is good. Yes, like people can't charge him and shut him off, so that's fun. Watch out, Death Masters. There you go. That's the. Yes, this guy's the Death Master sweeper, right? They're all running around. He just moves up into the middle of them, and he's just like. Yeah. Okay. I like the shooter one. I think in my mind the shooter one's doing the most work because I see him pairing well with the bulls who I'm using for a melee hammer. I think that the other guy is more duplicative with a melee hammer, whereas I think this guy fills a sort of necessary second line role behind your infantry or behind your bulls or something like that. All right.
I don't know. I kind of like the melee one as bodyguard.
He's like, yeah, sure. If you're going to take the bodyguard thing, yeah, sure.
Strikes first.
Yep. All right, let's do Armies of Renown and close this out. My God, what a show tonight. What a show. Okay, Armies of Renown. Our first one is Tar's Grand Forge Host. So you have to take Uruk Tar, obviously, because it's like in the name, right? And then any non-Hobgrot Helsmiths of Hashut infantry, any non-hero Helsmiths of Hashut war machines. So it's all infantry and war machines, right? No little Hobgrots, no bulls, just the war machines. So your shooters, your little walker guys, and dudes on foot, not bulls.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He has this passive that applies that's like a classic thing they love to do over Armies of Renown now, which is build them over the course of the game, right? So over the course of the game, all your friendly Grand Forge Host units get the following, right? In round 2, your weapons are crit 2 hits. In round 3, you get +1 to casting and chanting. In round 4, you score critical hits on a roll of 5 up. And in round 5, all your wizards and priests get 1 power level. Okay. All your war machines, so your little walker guys, usually is who we're talking about here, and or your cannons if you want or whatever, have a ward of 6 up. Okay, fine. And then you have your command point thing that in your movement phase, you can pick a friendly non-hero Grand Forge Host infantry unit that has been destroyed, and you get back the replacement unit with half the models. Cool. Yeah, artillery train without the train.
But you're not gathering DPPs though, right?
Correct. There is no DPP. That does not happen. Yes. That is correct. So like, sure. Which means that like a bunch of your abilities shut off. All of your guys are at like their base amount because you can't desolate. You don't get DPP. No. So like half the rules in your book just shut off.
Yep.
Your heroic trait is you get to do additional rallying. Your artifact is -1 to be hit. Your spell lore is an ignore the first damage point. That's an unlimited thing on a 7. And then your shackling curse, you can turn off units critical hits. Okay. Your prayer is -1 attacks and or strike last if you super pray it. And your other one is a very hard to chant mortal wound thing.
Nah.
I think this sucks, is my honest answer, because all of the units were written to care about DPP. The fact that you do not have those rules makes them suck. Who cares? I can take a bunch of the, like, what am I doing with these war machines that don't have any of their bonuses?
Right.
What?
Right. Or bonus attacks or movement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For the
None of your guys can have their wards. Like, it's bad.
Well, they get wards automatically for the war machine 6 up.
Yeah, great.
But yeah.
My infantry guys can't get the wards, which is what I want. Yes. All right. My little shooters that I can take can't shoot for crap because they're all Ren 0. Like, whatever.
But
It's just bad. It's bad. Then you've got the Ziggurat Stampede. Hey, guess what that one does, Tom? If the first one had no bulls, what do you think this one is? It's, if you guessed all bulls, you're
all
right.
of them.
Yes. Couldn't you get some DPP from
All
the
of
spear
them.
infantry? Yeah, I guess technically you could. That would work. Yeah, you could still use the spear infantry to like give somebody 1 point. I don't know what would happen with it. It would never go away, I guess. It would always be on them because you would never trigger the ability to pick it up. But like the spear guys do specifically say they just give somebody this thing. Whatever. I hate when they write Armies of Renown and forget that they don't get the army rules, which is what happens every time. It amazes me how bad they are at this. Yes, bulls on parade. Okay, so yeah, you get the Demon Smith who cares about cavalry and all the cavalry guys. So that's fine.
So I guess you could have the spear guys that could just permanently give them to the shooters. And in fact, you could get to Ren 5 because you could do it every turn because you can go over the cap of 3.
Since you don't have those base rules stopping you at 3?
Right, right. So you could get 1 point of Ren on your shooting unit every turn.
I guess technically, yeah.
And be at Ren.
Somehow the Emperor has returned. Yes, I think that is correct. Okay.
So the question is it best on the shooters? Well, because actually you could do that. So let's game this out real quick.
Sure.
So you could do that. It is your hero phase. It's not once per army.
Correct. Yeah. So let's say you got 2 units of these guys, because you remember you can only do it once per objective you control. You can't ever bank on having more than 2 objectives under your easy control. And the spear guys have to be like 12 inches to pass it to the other people. So sure. It's probably best on the shooters, right?
Yep. Well, the question is do you ramp up multiple units to empower them? Or do you just like send them to Ren 6 and ignore armor?
Yeah, I think what it is you have like, so let's assume the map has 2 objectives you can like actually get at, right? Like in your starting zone.
Sure.
A lot of maps have 2 in your starting zone that you can touch. You have the 2 shooters or 2 spear guys on those and a shooter unit in the middle, and they're both just immediately piling on. So like in turn 1, it's Ren 2. In turn 2, it's Ren 4. In turn 3, it's Ren 6. In turn 4, it's Ren 8. And in turn 5, it's Ren 10.
Yeah, I mean, in general, you're going to get to Ren 4 and then probably give it to your robot so that he can get +1 attack per point.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Or like he could, per turn, he'd jump up like movement and 2 attacks. I think that's the right answer.
Yep. You do have Uruk Tar, so technically he can redistribute them. Right? So he could move around, but he can only move up to 3. So when you get that unit up to 10, they just got a big pile. What a stupid army. All right, great. The Ziggurat Stampede, you can take the automatons. You add X to charge rolls for friendly Ziggurat Stampede units, for X is the number of friendly Ziggurat Stampede units that have already charged. This is to replace the charge bonus you would normally get off the DPP. I hate when they're just like, you lost a bunch of abilities, so we're going to give them back, but in a weirder, dumber way. Like, what is this doing? This isn't what Army of Renown should be doing. The bookends on this book are so dumb. Okay. Yeah. But everything in the middle is glorious. This is like, you ever get a sandwich somewhere and like the meat and the cheese and the toppings are just like perfect. It's like fresh.
And the bread's terrible.
And they just use some garbage bread. And you're just like, man, you fumbled it at the finish line here, didn't you? That's this book. Okay. At any rate, good MLT where the mutton is nice and lean. All right. Any number of friendly Ziggurat Stampede units can use the power through command. Neat. That should be a thing that more things have. And then run roughshod 1 command point in your movement phase. For the rest of the turn, the target can use shoot and or fight abilities, even if you use a retreat ability, and no mortal damage is inflicted on the unit. Inflicted on the target by retreat abilities. Fine. Great. Cool. A better version of what the Demonsmith already hands out. So you have like a super version of that if you really want to get the automatons moving or whatever. Your heroic trait makes it so you kick back like decently significant mortal wounds potentially, depending on how many attacks get thrown at you, I suppose. And then your artifact is in your charge phase, you had one of the number of dice rolled and making charge rolls for this unit to a maximum of 3. Great. That's going on your Demonsmith, obviously, because that's who it has to go on, because that's the only hero you can take. So he can charge really well. And then you have a whole spell lore. That's your thing. You just get a whole new spell lore. All right. And I looked at this and I was like excited for a minute because I was like, oh, neat. Are we going to get like a spell lore that has a good unlimited spell? No. No. You're not.
No.
It's basically just a different bad version of the original spell lore. Like your prayer, your Rend prayer became your middle Rend spell. Your base unlimited one is just like a really wonky way to do mortal damage where you have to be in combat with them. It's still on like a 6, 7, and 8. And then like instead of checking armor, you're checking like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's handing out desolation tokens.
Correct. It does add desolation tokens, yes.
But
you're targeting like terrain.
Right, but that doesn't do anything because you don't get anything for a desolation tokens in the Army of Renown.
Correct. It's just
so you're adding desolation. You're adding desolation tokens, but you're not actually like reaping any benefit or reward for those things.
That's right. Because they do not remember. Every time they write these, they forget that you don't get the Army's generic rules. They forget the way their own rules work 100% of the time.
Yep.
It's amazing.
So bad.
But yes, you get to do it. Look, that has a token now. What does that mean? It means it has a token now. I burned it to ash. It said so right here. So both of these are bad, but who cares? The Army's good. So whatever. It's fine. So there you go. That's the Army. Overall, I have to say, I think Chaos Dwarves pretty cool. Like I said, I'm gonna make this army, right? Oh, sure, that's fair. It's a reminder that it's now obscuring. Thank you, Atsu. There you go. It has a desolation token. What does that do? It reminds me that this is now obscuring. That's the right answer. Absolutely correct. My summary is I want to play this army. I think it's pretty cool. I really like that we got a nice balanced army. You know, I love things where I can like have some infantry, have some cavalry, have a war machine, have a cool monster guy. And like when I was building this army in my head, reading it, I was like, I want one of those and a unit of those and a unit of those. And right. Like I was going through and I was like, yes, I want all of this stuff. Right. I want to do a nice mixed arms balance list, have some shooting, put some threat out, some good responses, be able to hold. Like, yeah. I love it. Again, I think their battle formations are utter garbage. Some of the worst they've ever written. Okay. Sporadicus, do you think the lack of a standard bearer is a misprint since the kit has a standard in it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think they just forgot to print the word on there, and in the FAQ, they'll put it on there. And Fazarun said, glad the wait wasn't in vain. The couple of test games I've done have felt really nice and balanced. Yeah, I agree. Like it feels like a balanced army that wants to do like it's doing multiple things on the table at once. It's got some cool toys. I think the models look good. I think it's got some nice different combos and power pairs and synergies. The spell lore doesn't really have much going on, but I don't care. Like I said, I think magic is dumb anyways. Uruktar is like a really great manifestation machine if you want to go that direction. Like he really can pump out the endless spells. They're pretty good at that. You're going to end up taking like something that costs points. You know, probably not Aether Rot machineries. Although, I don't know, Aether Rot's not terrible for you, honestly, depending on what your build is.
It's true.
Like a neg one to hit him or your other, like your Demonsmith and stuff like that is not terrible. And then being able to flip it over to reroll charges on like your bulls where they're +3 to charge is, you know, pretty great. So, Maybe it is Aetherod. I don't know. But the point is that like I see lots of different builds I think are worth exploring, even with not a lot of units. This army seems super primed for an easy phase 2. Right? So I love it. I'm excited to paint it up. I think it'll paint up quick and look great. When you see the video, I'll share some pictures out of my little guys. But overall, I thought they're pretty cool. So this gets a big thumbs up from me. Good book. One of the best books I've read so far in 4th, honestly. They understood roles. They executed well on the Warscrolls. The Warscrolls are where it matters, the foundation. All the rest of that stuff is like, whatever. Right? Like that's trimmings and trappings that can change easily enough over time. But yeah, good. Tom, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it looks great. Like it does what it says on the tin, and like as long as you're willing to count some tokens, right, it'll be fine.
Yep. Just and again, I don't think it's that big an issue. Like you're not placing that many things. Like yeah, you pick them up, put them down, but it's like whatever. It's not that huge a number. You do have to always keep in mind you're going to be down some command points potentially because you I think especially early game you'll often be burning for the thing. But that's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's Chaos Dwarves. Hey everybody. Thanks for watching. If you watched until the end, which there's a lot of you still watching, which is awesome. As I mentioned, Adam and I are going to be coming out with our annual zine here in November. And it's going to have a one-on-one mech fighting game in it. So if you are interested in anything like that, if you want to take your big giant robots or your Gundams or stuff like that and slam your Transformer toys against each other, maybe got an old Optimus Prime model, work perfect for it. Big 28mm scale. So we're talking, when I say one-on-one mech fighting, I mean like mechs, the real. And it's very reactive, like sort of anime combat and styled game set in a sort of Old West type of setting. Well, Wild West, whatever. It doesn't matter. You get the idea.
There's a gunslinger feel to it.
There is a gunslinger feel to it. Yes, that's right. That was the idea. I thought a lot about RoboCop as I was writing the rules. So Adam and I will be talking about it a lot more in coming weeks on Snarlcast. We're going to start releasing details and talking about the game and its development and what we wanted out of it on Snarlcast. So check that out. Check out everything in the Vinci Cinematic Universe down below. John and I's new podcast is up there as well. We're talking all about fighters this week. Did you listen to the new episode yet, Tom?
Nope, I don't care about fighters.
I think you'll like this episode. I really do. I think you should. I know you've always been a wizard guy like me, but I think we talk about how to make fighters good and yet stay simple at the same time. So check it out. Everything's linked down there. There's affiliate links down there to pick up your hobby supplies. There's merch store. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you to everybody who chatted normally. Really appreciate it. Everybody who's kept the conversation going. Appreciate all the thoughts. Thank you for helping me catch that little flamethrower guy was way better. I totally missed that. So that's super cool. And there'll be more Chaos Dwarf stuff. For the first time ever, Vince likes a dwarf army, and that alone is probably worth a like. So click like and subscribe if you haven't already on your way out. Click things that make dings. It does really help. We appreciate you watching. And as always, we'll see you next Wednesday.